Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass today. DJ Bedhead, taking you up to 2 p.m. We have Kings. We have NBA playoffs. Nate's in the building, so we're talking Niners. John Lynch spoke yesterday about the future of their star receiver, yes, Chris Watkins, star receiver, Brandon Aiyuk, and whether or not he will still be in the red and gold. We also have some reactions from other Niners media members about what John Lynch had to say, and of course, our thoughts on it and your thoughts on it as well. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. The game from last night, Chris, I mean, two of the most exciting NBA playoff games, I think, consecutively that I've seen in a very long time. The first slate over the weekend were a bunch of stinkers, and it ended with the Pelicans with a really good game against the Thunder, but no complaints from me today from yesterday's games. You had the Knicks find a way to beat the Sixers, and then you had the Nuggets find a way to beat the Lakers. I mean, once you get to 20 points, I'm turning the TV off and I'm switching back and forth. And I said, okay, end of the third, I'll watch the end of the third with the Lakers Nuggets. And as every team says, get it to 10 going into the fourth. That's exactly what the Nuggets did. And we will get to Lakers, Nuggets, and all the sound, plenty of sound. Nate is going to be working hard today. We have plenty of sound to come out, and the Lakers crying. By the way, Chris, before we go to Philly and the Knicks, I must say, we've done this conversation. One thing we didn't talk about yesterday was how Warrior fans, as much as they want to say that Kings-Warriors is not a rivalry, they spent their, Friday night tweeting at Kings fans about the idea that Kings fans deserve to get roasted because Kings fans were giving it to Warriors fans, right? So we have this conversation between Laker fans and Warrior fans, who's more delusional, who's more annoying. At this point, I don't know if it's the actual fans for the Lakers that are more annoying, or if it's the actual players and the coaching staff. They all whine. I think I'm getting that
attitude
confused.
Reflect leadership. Captain.
with the fans. I mean, the fans are annoying. Yeah. We get all that, but at least the Warrior players don't whine. Right. I know Draymond is Draymond, but the crying from the Laker fans, the Laker players, talking about the non-calls. Darvin Ham, he did the same thing last year. Oh, we can't use this as an excuse, talking about the fouls, but I'm going to bring them up anyway and use them as an excuse. So we will get into all that. But now that I did get on my little Warriors tangent, we didn't get to that yesterday with all the King stuff and the exit interviews. Did you see any of that? I put on my purple shield, and I'm going back and forth with Warrior fans. And all I simply posted was, if it's not a rivalry, why are Warriors fans spending their Friday night, beautiful Friday night, tweeting about the Kings losing?
First beautiful nights in
one of the
most year,
beautiful nights. And Chris, I got cussed out.
Yep.
I got blocked. My favorite is when somebody responds to you and they're so ticked off at you, before you can respond back, you're blocked. So that happened to me. And that's all I asked.
Yeah.
That's all I asked. And everybody, and look, I'm still cool with a lot of the people over there. And we understand it's all sports and in good fun. But they could not wait, Chris, to sit there. I saw people saying, I don't know who I want to win more. I kind of want CJ McCollum to lose, but the way Kings fans acted, I want them to lose. And my question this whole time was, what in your mind, Warriors fans, did you think was going to happen when you lost, right? It's all fine and good when you win and when you can say four rings and 4 parades and say your little brother this, that. My issue was simply that they acted like they would have just been cordial if they won. It's all fine and good. You can roast when you win, but the idea that Kings fans took it to some crazy level when they won was absurd to me. And I was on that side. I literally was on the airwaves when they beat the Kings. So stop it. And that was a first round. That was a first round playoff. So, this is the actual playoffs. Stop. Just stop. They're acting like they would have let Sacramento have it if they won. They would have let them have it.
Twice in your own building. Oh, y'all are
it
little
would have
brothers
been
for life.
all day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll even use a great, I'll say one of Draymond's best quotes of all time. I'll use it right against him. They don't love you like that. You not Kobe.
No.
They really thought that they were, like the old Bulls. They thought that, when it crashed and burned, that it was going to be a respectful thing and we were going to tell legends of the Warriors run and all that. No, everyone's been preying on your downfall since you started. And the way that they came up, I don't think earned them any friends either. I definitely think the way that, the whole KD situation and just how they've just conducted themselves this entire time. And like you said, when you win, you have that right. You have that right to be loud and to be obnoxious, but you're tripping if you don't think that it all comes back around. And I think right now and probably moving forward these next couple of years until the Warriors spark it back up, this is how it's going to be for them. People are going to take turns stomping on their grave because, frankly, sometimes quite literally, this is exactly what Steph and the boys would do. They would walk onto your home floor. They would say, we take joy in quieting your home crowd. And then Steph would dance at center court. And that's how their run went for a lot of people in their minds, and especially in mine. That's how I think of that Warrior team is, they won a ton, but they also let you know it every single time they won. So now that they're on the losing end of it, you better believe you're going to get slander, and it's not going to stop now because this is what y'all kind of asked for when you were that. And you guys were great. It was great. I hope you enjoyed the run, but we're really going to enjoy the downfall.
And the thing is, it's not even the players. I mean, the Kings fan, because it was a play-in, right? So you could honestly make the argument that Steph did way too much for a first-round playoff game last season. He lit the beam. He did the night-night, and the night-night was kind of left over from 2022. Are you still doing it? Well, what's the deal here? So if your expectations are a championship, why are you celebrating
a first round win?
First round win
against.
Whereas if the Kings, as the kids say, is such a poverty franchise, then why are you so bothered when they celebrate a play-in win? But I'm saying this season for the Kings fans to celebrate a play-in victory, if you're saying they're a poverty franchise, then what? You should expect this. So you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. And Warriors fans, Chris, we were sitting there because we were in a different spot than we normally are. So we were with the people. We actually requested to sit with the people.
I don't know about that.
Okay, maybe not. But we were with the people. And as Warrior fans are leaving, as they're leaving in, what was it, halfway through the fourth, what are they doing the whole time? Four. So that's what you do all the time, and that's fine. That you are a part of a franchise that won championships. That's awesome. Everybody would love that. But don't get salty or act all high and mighty as if you wouldn't have been talking trash. That was the number one thing. Yeah, but Kings fans just took it too far. Well, what's too far? Anything would have been too far because you're just salty that you left. Or that you lost.
They would have been the worst. And they would have been the worst if they won. So it's completely hypocritical for them to say that, we're doing too much. We're being extra loud, when the entire reason all those Warrior fans were in Golden One Center was to show off in front of all of the Kings fans if they won. They were ready to be loud, be obnoxious, get people riled up. Like I've seen that rivalry in that building one too many times, and I know how it goes. Those Warrior fans show up to flex. That's what they are there to do. They're not actually, well, of course they're there to have a good time and to watch their team win. But most importantly, the thing they want more than anything is to yell at the Kings fans next to them and tell them how they're a poverty franchise and how they're so much better because they made a decision 7 years ago.
Or it was made for them by their parents.
Exactly.
So we didn't get to that yesterday because we had some great stuff with the exit interviews, but I woke up this morning. I thought, you know what?
Yeah, I was not expecting to start today with the Warriors.
We did not. We are not going to let them off the hook. This is from the 9-2. Oh, we know how. Okay, 925. I mean, that's my area code, so I know you're from the Bay. Shouldn't have trash talked the Warriors for beating them in a play-in game, but definitely should rub it in their face that not only did we knock you out, but then we got the tie break in the draft. And they go on to say, bleep it, Dubs. That's from the 925, actually Kings fan. Shout out to the 925. There you go. All right, we're getting into some playoff basketball talk. Philly versus Knicks. What did you see? The controversial end to that game. The Lakers trying to convince us that there was a controversial end to the later game. And the only thing controversial was whether Rui Hachimura or not was actually trying to make the ball in the basket and what happened there and how they blew a 20-point lead. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no kicking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog. Because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Speaking of, so Chris, I don't know if this is true or not for those out there, but the Kings won the tiebreaker in the draft to beat the Warriors to get the 13th pick. Was it actually a coin flip?
Yes. No, that's actually how the NBA determines these things.
Just like
it's a literal coin flip.
A couple days ago, we were talking about Friday Night Lights. That's what it was when it was time for the playoffs.
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
Good old-fashioned American coin flip.
There's just nothing that's as impartial as a coin flip. You know, it's got no favorites. It's got no memory.
Let me guess.
What up?
You're a tails guy, aren't you?
Tails never fails.
You look like a tails guy.
Never fails.
What do I look like?
You say it's going to land like, straight up, and it's actually not going to pick heads or tails because you just root for chaos.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true.
Heads guy. So I take it that was a big heads guy.
I am a heads guy because everybody says tails. So I go.
I guess I mean you're kind of
I think somebody said that the tail side is, or one of the sides of the head side is slightly heavier, and that's why tails comes up more.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of
seems like an issue.
Yeah, I mean, right. You would think that somebody would figure that out. Also, like, what our quarter, like, where it's like I need to know, is this a silver dollar they're flipping?
Yeah.
Is it a quarter, dime, nickel, penny? Like, is it a specialized coin?
Yeah. This happened to the Niners and Raiders a few years ago too. They had the same record, same tiebreaker, everything. And I think the Niners took Mike McGlinchey with that pick 13, I believe.
So we have like a million different tiebreakers in the standings where it's like conference record, division record when the sun's out, record when the baby's asleep, like all these things. Right. And they still just they just at the end of the day are like, coin flip. Like, we're here. We'll just end it. Like, they got no other answer besides a coin. Like, I get it. I know I set it up. It's
some things are just
and all
classic,
that stuff, but it's just like, that's definitely something that they implemented like the first year that the NBA existed. And they're like, should we change this?
Just a real dusty coin. They still have the coin somewhere.
Exactly.
In the Hall of Fame. All right. As we talk about basketball and trying to be in the history books, Philly and New York, that one may go down as one of the craziest endings, at least lately, when it comes to the NBA playoffs. And Chris, I'll let you kind of set this up. What happened? And a collapse from Philly, who, I mean, with Joel Embiid laboring, he can't even get up the floor. And even with that being said, the Sixers were in a position to win, and they were not able to close it out.
Yeah, it was one of the most crazy endings I think I've ever seen. Definitely, probably live, the most crazy ending I've ever seen. Like I said, it definitely shades of Reggie Miller against the Knicks. Funny enough, they get their own version of it. And it was great that it was in the Garden, because you got one of the best crowd pops I think you'll ever hear. And truly probably something that Knicks fans are going to talk about probably for the rest of eternity. So really cool moment. And just to kind of set the table, the Knicks were down 5 with under a minute to go. There's about 40 seconds left. The Knicks have the ball, bringing it down again, down 5, 96-101, and they just scramble. I mean, I think it's DiVincenzo running into the paint, kind of loses the ball a bit, finds Brunson wide open in the corner. Brunson kind of should probably just take the look, decides to take a little side dribble, get the rhythm, puts it up, hits it off front rim, bounces straight up in the air, and then right into the hoop. Knicks are now down 2 with, I don't know, like just under 30 seconds to go. And that's when really all chaos, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey shoves off a defender, gets open on the inbounds pass. You can kind of see on the replay, Jalen Brunson does tug at Maxey's jersey quite a bit, and nothing's called. Pretty physical. It's playoff basketball. You see Maxey kind of get it, and he runs into Josh Hart, who's also who's kind of sandwiching Maxey from the corner, and the ball goes in the air. Tyrese Maxey kind of gets it tipped out. Maxey then catches it, comes down, tries to pivot, loses his footing, face plants on the ground with the ball. There's another scramble, and again, hell breaks loose. Knicks get the ball. They take a 3 with Dante. He misses it.
Right.
They get the offensive
Hartenstein
rebound.
was a beast.
Hartenstein absolutely closed the game. Ends up getting the game-winning block after this as well. Gets the offensive rebound. Finds OG Anunoby on the perimeter. They swing it around back to Dante DiVincenzo, who absolutely cashes a 3. Probably one of the biggest 3s, if not the biggest shots in Knicks history in the past 20 years.
Easy.
Maybe the biggest shot that the Knicks have had. And it is just a madhouse. Knicks go up 1 with about 5 seconds to go. Like I said, on the other end, Tyrese Maxey gets it. Gets the ball at half court, just beelines for the rim. Isaiah Hartenstein gets the block. Game over. Knicks win in incredible fashion. Again, Reggie Miller-esque. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of controversy there on that inbounds pass with Jalen Brunson grabbing Tyrese Maxey's jersey. A lot of physicality from Josh Hart on that little sandwich bump. And, Nick Nurse, he wasn't too happy about the officiating. Here's what he had to say after the game.
Well, the first thing is obviously they score. We take a look at getting it in quick. We don't get it in quick. I call timeout. Referee looked right at me, ignored me. Went into Tyrese. I called timeout again. Then the melee started, and I guess I got to run out onto the floor or do something to make sure and get his attention. But I needed a timeout there to advance it. Would have been good, but couldn't get it. Yeah, and there you go. You can hear Nick Nurse clearly not happy, calls it a melee.
for the ball there. And the Sixers, not just Nick Nurse, weren't happy about it. And this is from Tim Bontemps. The 76ers plan to file a grievance with the NBA over the officiating across the first 2 games of this series, a team spokesman has told ESPN and Tim Bontemps. Little sour there. Little sour grapes.
What
from the
comes
Sixers.
from a grievance?
Not really sure, because it's not a protest, so it's not like you're contesting the results of the match. I guess it's just a formal complaint. I guess it's more of a, hey, we're putting you on notice league. I don't know if I've ever heard of this before. I don't know what this is meant to accomplish, but seems like a little bit of sourness from the Knicks or from the Sixers. I will say, like, again, there was a lot of physicality on that. I feel like if the Kings were to be in that situation, it feels like a foul's probably called.
It feels like the Knicks, I mean, earlier in this season,
too.
Yeah, in the Garden, no ref wants to be that person.
Exactly.
Remember earlier this season, Dante DiVincenzo literally chop blocked someone.
Yes.
I think it was it the Raptors or somebody like that, or the Pistons.
Yes, he like dove right at their knees. It was the Pistons.
And there was no call.
Right.
And I do think there's something to be said. I mean, when everybody knows, the league is better when the Knicks are better, these refs have proven time and time again that they're human.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that person. They might be afraid of leaving the arena if they make that call.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a scary proposition for sure, especially, in the Garden. You got, I mean, as much as, Staples Center or whatever they want to call it has the stars, like, Madison Square Garden's got it all. Like, I mean, you got Chris Rock.
Chris Rock was chilling
pick
there.
Pick your favorite celebrity. They're sitting courtside at that Knicks game. Nobody wants to be the person that upsets your favorite actor or actress or whatever.
Right.
And so I get how that's a really tough situation. And again, that's probably the best moment that the Knicks have had in 25 plus years.
And the Nick Nurse thing, I was telling you, Turtle from Entourage is posting now because he's New York guy. And Nick Nurse, to be fair, he's saying, I don't know if I have to run on the court, but he did not. He did.
Yeah.
He did. He wasn't. When you want to call a timeout, you call a timeout.
Yeah. You do run out onto the floor. You say, I'm going to stop the play because I am calling a timeout.
So I think it's a little soft for him to now come back and say, I called it.
I made eye contact with you.
We have the proof, brother.
Yeah. No, and just for you guys to hear it, here's Mike Breen, who wasn't on the official. It was on TNT, so he didn't get to call the ESPN broadcast. Here's how Mike Breen sounded on the Knicks official broadcast.
The Hart, back to Brunson. Brunson double team, splits the defense. Lowry takes it away, picked up by DiVincenzo. 8 on the 24. DiVincenzo corner to Brunson. Sidestep, three-pointer. Shot. It's good. Took the bounce and went in. 2-point game. Ball knocked loose. And Maxey gets knocked down. Hart takes it away. Out top to DiVincenzo. His shot won't go. Hartenstein the rebound. Hartenstein gets it out to Anunoby. DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a 1-point lead with 13 seconds remaining.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's noticeably cooler on this Tuesday. Sun and clouds around and that consistent Delta breeze. Expect daytime highs to peak in the lower to mid 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Spring savings continue at Folsom Lake Kia. Low payments, special offers, zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit jiffylube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Capital
Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit SacLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Everybody needs Good Feet.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
10:45. Getting into some Kings talk. We will be discussing Tracy Rodriguez's interview and piece that she did with the Kings and Malik Monk. Tristy is a good friend of ours that we see all the time. She does great work for NBC Sports California. So that is at 10:45, and we will break all of that down. Chris, can I be honest with you on something?
Hope so. What's up?
This Knicks thing, it kind of bothers me.
The fact that they are getting a beneficial whistle?
Everything. After that game one, people are upset that the Kings had some fun in the play-in game and Kings fans had some fun. And honestly, I think the whole thing is overblown. I think that you have Keon doing the night-night, you have Scott Freshour doing the night-night, and those things went viral. But Kings fans, I mean, nobody was running all over Doko. There was nothing crazy like that.
There was nobody saying like, "Oh, this might be a playoff run that we just are about to start."
Exactly, or acting like they didn't even act like Patrick Beverley. But you have the Knicks and the Knicks fans who, because it's New York and because it's the Mecca, they can do no wrong, and they win game one.
Trae Young,
Chris, they were saying bleep Trae Young. They win game one, and they rush to the streets. Any other city does that. Any other fan base does that. They get roasted.
Yeah.
But because it's New York and it's the Mecca, it's good for basketball, and nobody gets down like New York, and it just bothers me.
Right? No, I mean it's fair because the Kings definitely had a longer drought. Like the Knicks have been in a long drought, and I think that's why some people say
they were just
are
in
more
the playoffs
for sure. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they didn't get swept.
No, I think that it's just the fact that they haven't been in there for so long that people are letting them have their fun. But to your point, why aren't the Kings allowed to have any fun? They've had the longest drought of anybody. They haven't even won a playoff series. The Knicks won a playoff series last year, to your point.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, why can't we celebrate? And, granted, this year probably would have been a crazy celebration if the Kings gave us something to celebrate. But it's a great point. Like, because it's going to happen, and it's going to be a lot, not bigger scale than the Knicks. But if the Kings win a playoff series, it's going to look like we won the freaking World Series.
I just don't understand why the Knicks and the Knicks fans get a different set of rules than everybody else.
Yeah.
And maybe it's
Because
before
New
my
York,
time. Sure.
That's it. That's literally it.
And maybe I'm, like I said, maybe I'm missing the mystique of it all.
Yeah.
But it's not even a Kings thing. Any other fan base does that. They're getting destroyed. Chris, it was pandemonium.
No, that's a fact.
In the streets.
That's just a fact. Yeah.
In
Everybody
the streets.
else, everybody else is getting killed saying like, "Oh, I remember my first playoff win." And
right. Act like you've been there before.
Act like you've been there before. Poverty, like, oh, this is what happens. Get one taste of success.
Hang the banner.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fair complaint for sure. It's definitely not created equal for whatever reason. And yeah, Knicks fans are definitely acting like, I mean, they're acting like this is brand new, which it is to them. But at the same time, we're told, the Patrick Beverly thing is still memed, and that was a really big moment for Minnesota. And so it's just like, I don't understand. So what is it that, and granted, we are arguing with birds. Like, we are literally arguing with random internet people here, but what do they want? Because you lose, and are you supposed to just lose with grace and not talk any and then you win? Okay, you're supposed to celebrate, but you can't celebrate too much. You can't jump on the scores table. You can't go outside and yell and make side talk. Like, I just can't figure out what is the ideal amount of celebration for any of this stuff.
And you know me, Josh Hart, he just gets on my nerves.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. He's all hustle, all heart.
I mean, he just gets on my nerves in a good way. I would love to have him on your team, but when he's not on your team, and now all of a sudden he can shoot threes. So that just happened. All right, but we have Lakers, Nuggets, plenty of sound there to break down, and a crazy finish.
Yeah, it was. Man, I wouldn't say arguably a crazier finish, but I mean, still, nonetheless, if you watch that entire game, you probably got equal entertainment value out of it. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers were, I don't even know how much they were up by. It was double figures. Pretty significant. I think it was up as much as 20 in that third quarter. And by the time the fourth quarter started, I think the Nuggets had already cut it. To your point, I think you said earlier, they had kind of done the thing where, all right, next time out, cut it to 15. Okay, get it from 15 to 10. Yeah. And now we got ourselves a game. And it felt like the Nuggets, who have been there, done that, won it all, they understood this. There's still a lot of time left, and we can still chip away no matter how ridiculous. I mean, AD was like 13 of 14 from the field with like 30 points, 12 rebounds. He was having a day. And then LeBron went crazy in the fourth. So the fact that the Nuggets just, I mean, they really did exactly what they did the entirety of last postseason. They just out-executed the Lakers. I don't know if the Nuggets had a bad possession the last 5 minutes of the game. I can't think of. They did have that one where Jokic kind of thought he got fouled and shot the half-court shot.
That was hilarious.
Then it ends in a Michael Porter Jr. three that he just splash cashes. Like, I could not believe it. It was a crazy, crazy finish. And, the Lakers, they played fantastic down the stretch. LeBron was an animal down the stretch. He did miss a wide open three that could have given
he shouldn't
the
have
Lakers
even taken that three.
Why not? I'm just curious. Why not?
I just think he could have got to the lane. It's the same thing that people have complained about with LeBron before, because I don't think LeBron wants to go to the free throw line with the game on the line.
Very much so. Absolutely. And, he had just hit a three, but I agree that
he had hit a couple.
He did not need to take it. He could have. He had a ton of space. He'd been getting downhill like it was no problem all game. Probably shouldn't have taken the three. You're right. I didn't even really consider it. But yeah, took the three, missed it, and then on the other end, man, it was a crazy, crazy finish. Jamal Murray hits just, I don't even know if there's a word for hitting that shot in that moment over AD, not scared at all. That's a big-time shot from a big-time player, and that's why people say Jamal Murray steps his game up in the postseason. It was incredible. And do we have the call of Jamal hitting that shot? Because it was absolutely ridiculous, the level of difficulty that he had to have to fall away, hit this step back, again, over AD for game as they're making the comeback was insane. Here's how it sounded.
Time. I love it. Don't call it. Tie ball game. Worst can happen. We go to overtime. Murray makes a move. The Nuggets have won.
There's our chicken wing man, Kevin Harlan.
It's a chicken wing. That was a crazy shot over AD.
Over AD.
Everybody's, AD just said, how the league doesn't like me. That's why I've never won DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year. And then you get splashed.
That's right.
And then you fall into
gosh.
the bench and look at
memes are
KCP
crazy.
making sure that he doesn't get injured. Yeah. I mean, that's what you're supposed. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. All right. And now here is, and hopefully we have enough time for this post game.
Yeah, it's wild.
Here is the full post game of Anthony Davis after the shot.
To kind of piggyback off that one, can you take us through that last play, just what happened and what unfolded? What was, I don't know if you were screened or what happened on that last play?
Jamal Murray made a shot.
That's it. He slams the mic down and then leaves.
The video is so good too. If you can have a second, go
with his shades
go look it up.
on.
He's got the shades on. He's got his hair all did.
Yeah,
and he walked off, and it sounded like, I mean, whatever, it's whatever, but he sounded like he was going to start tearing up there for a second.
It reminded me of, baby Styles is 1 year old today. We are literally entering Toddlerville, and she's showing it, and that was kind of Toddlerville right there.
Brutal. That's brutal. What's funny too is that video just played comes from our friend Sean Cunningham. He just put like 8 laughing emojis and tweeted that out. Just taking shots.
I will say, after last year especially, we had the conversation after the Kings got eliminated, like, who do we root for, Warriors or Lakers in that playoff series? Mm-hmm. I still don't know if there's a good enough answer to that question, but I will say Lakers losing still hits, man. It still hits like it was yesterday.
Right.
I will say
yesterday was
nothing better.
Was chef's kiss because of the lead.
Yeah.
When they just get blown out, that's great. Not as fun.
A whole collapse and everything.
Yeah, I mean, when they throw a fit like that too, it's so like you're saying at the top of the show, it's the players doing it, not just the fans. It's crazy because you'll hear the LeBron audio, but it's arguably just as bad.
Let's play it.
Let's go
to the head of the snake.
I don't understand what's going on in the replay center, to be honest. I said it. I think I said it this year or last year, whatever. D'Lo clearly gets hit in the face on a drive. What the fuck do we have a replay center? This is going to go. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It bothers me. Sorry I didn't answer your question, but that is like. And then I just saw what happened with the Sixers Knicks game too. What are we doing?
What and again, doing? Mike Slam.
Yeah.
Is he talking about the timeout with the Sixers Knicks?
No, he's talking about the physicality.
Yeah, the melee at the end. And I felt the same way. Then when I rewatched it, it was the jersey pull, but I don't know.
A physical play in general.
I don't know if I'm still not sure if Maxey got fouled when he fell to the ground. Yeah. I think he thought he got fouled, and we were watching thinking, why is he kind of giving the ball away?
Yeah.
I don't know what he thought. I probably couldn't hear anything.
I think he was trying to sell. I think like not sell the game. Sell the foul.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, that was pretty funny stuff from LeBron, and it's always fun when the Lakers lose. We also have, and it's not just, and I'm just going to start calling Nick Wright Lakers media because that's exactly what it is. When we return, before we get into the Tracy Rodriguez interview, we have some absurd sound from Nick Wright. Absurd.
I've never heard this before.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Quite a take.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, boat?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity.
We're going to the city?
Authenticity.
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic. Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at upsizematters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at upsizematters.com. That's upsizematters.com.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
ZZ Top, the Elevation Tour. Friday, May 3rd, 7:30 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley with special guest Foghat. ZZ Top, playing all their classic hits. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Nick writes down about a couple minutes here, then we will get into Tracy Rodriguez's piece on Malik Monk and the Kings. Chris, I do have to ask this, and we're going to spend more time on this probably throughout the duration of the playoffs, assuming that the Nuggets finish the Lakers off and continue to play. But
Let's hope so.
Jamal Murray, got to be one of the most confusing careers that you could cook up. He's never been an all-star. He was an all-NBA. He was on the all-rookie team his rookie year. Hasn't been an all-star. He's had some injuries. He just always steps his game up. I know there's someone out there. He's just going to be habitually underrated because of his inability to, I guess, perform at the same level he does in the playoffs all season long. He dealt with some injuries this season as well. But what a confusing career. I mean, you can't even correctly compare him to the other guards like De'Aaron Fox and Donovan Mitchell. I know you did the playoff tier list. I don't know where he fell, but how confusing of a career is Jamal Murray because of what he does in the regular season? Not that he's bad, but he's never been an all-star. But then in the play, and he didn't even shoot well last night, but he shows up in money time. I don't really know what to do with him.
He's still super young. I mean, he's 27. I don't think there has to be any definite on him yet. I mean, he's a season away or a couple months away from possibly being a 2-time champion by the time he's 28. So I don't think any of his legacy has been cemented at all. I think he's still definitely in the we're figuring it out phase. I mean, he really, I think health is the biggest thing with him. I think it's why he hasn't been an all-star, is only because he hasn't been healthy in these past couple regular seasons. I think he's a great player. I mean, I think everyone kind of understands that, you know, he at this point is still just trying to get through the regular season and remain healthy. But in the postseason, I think there's a pretty good understanding that he's a Jimmy Butler type where he elevates his game, goes to a different level. And he is absolutely, it was proven last year, he's somebody who's capable of being the number 2 option on a championship team. And I think that's going to continue. And I think he's probably only going to get better the longer he can stay healthy consecutively. I truly think that health is the only thing that's keeping him out of being in the top 15, 25 conversations.
Yeah. And if he can't get anywhere near what he does in the postseason during the regular season at a consistent clip, he definitely will be at least an all-star one time and more than one. All right, let's hear. Before we switch over to the Kings, you have to hear this sound from Nick Wright. This was going into the game. This was on FS1. This is going into the game. This is what he had to say. And he says it tongue-in-cheek, but you know Nick Wright, he loves LeBron, and I don't know how much he was actually kidding.
Speaking of the tank, again, it's too late in this season, but the NBA probably at some point needs to look in this altitude thing. It seems like
hold up, Nick. Denver has never won a
unfair.
championship until last year.
I get it.
All right,
it does seem unfair.
It just played at altitude at an all-star game, and
it seems a little unfair.
It hits you.
I gotta
in about
tell
2 minutes.
Like this whole thing of like Denver never having, except for I guess Melo or Alex English, even like a Hall of Fame level player. Maybe that was Dan Issel. Yeah. That's the way it was supposed to be. Because this is like there's an unfair advantage. I'm not making any excuses, and I know it's going to get clipped, but you got to at least look into it. You got to do something. Like give them extra timeouts or something. Man. I don't like it.
Should Michigan be looked into because they have too many fans at their football games?
Maybe.
That's a little suspicious. You know, you get a little extra boost. Like, you know, they're going to have a better home record because they have more fans than what everybody else does. That seems a little unfair to me.
How much do you think he was actually kidding? How much do you think?
No, I think he's joking like 2%. I think the only reason why he says he's joking is because he knows he's going to get flamed.
Yeah.
I think every bit of his soul, I bet when he was watching that game, he probably had somebody else. It was either a friend or maybe it was a significant other. Maybe it was his kids. He was telling somebody the entire time watching, look at that. They're gassed. This isn't fair.
Right.
I can't believe that. And I bet he was complaining the entire time. And then once he gets in front of the camera, he's like, I know I'm joking here, but we were all thinking it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Altitude is, it's like, bro, like, what are we talking? It's also not the only sport that has to deal with it. Like, you know, nobody's saying, the Denver Broncos have an unfair advantage because you're essentially being weighted down an extra 15 pounds with your shoulder pad and helmet, and you're being asked to run. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
I don't know. It's pretty absurd.
I mean, I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true, that it is a major advantage, but to then say that we need to do something, like, what are we supposed to do about it? Or should we call them the Denver Nuggets but have them play in Arizona? Like, what are we supposed to do?
That was the thing. I didn't know, and I do think he is He's kidding, but he's not. For Nick and his brand, he can say, well, if LeBron didn't have to. For Nick and his brand, he can say LeBron did this. Look at what LeBron did at altitude. Right. Imagine if he wasn't at altitude. Sure. So Nick is always going to find a way to spin it in a way that helps his narrative. But yeah, everybody has to deal with it.
Yep.
That's why you try to keep the Nuggets, and they're not even the 1 seed, so they wouldn't even get that advantage. Nope, they just won their first championship last season. So I just don't know. The funny part is the league needs to do something. Well, what would they do?
I would be fascinated too. I clearly am not the model of health, but how does the getting acclimated to altitude work? Is it you train at altitude and then you're just solid? If the Nuggets go on
how long does it
week
take?
And a half long road trip, does it go away and then it hits them heavier on the way back?
Insight on that.
Do we know this is a fact before you go on here and say, do you know
the UFC fighter Tony Ferguson?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes
didn't answer my question. Do we know that this is a fact?
Just let him cook.
Okay.
What I'm about to say are that the air is thinner.
What
you're about to cook with.
Go ahead. Just go. It's fine.
All I'm going to say is that there's no hard evidence. That's it. He would go train up there in Big Bear, which is the Tahoe version of LA's Tahoe, for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd come back to LA and it was just gone. His endurance, his being used to it, because he'd go back to LA for a week or two and then go to Colorado or New Mexico.
It wouldn't last very long.
No. I think it helps the people who live there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do, just from what I've heard. But
what if the Nuggets go on not that they did, but what if the Nuggets go on a week-long road trip?
Exactly. Yeah. I think it just kind of resets your body.
And the other question is, how long does it take? Because I do think it's interesting that they're still talking about it in game 2. Game 1, I get it. Game 2, we just don't know. I know back in the day, it was you have a buddy who's into snowboarding and they say, bro, you got to go snowboarding you got to go or Tahoe as well. But when you have beverages in altitude, you can enjoy yourself.
That's right.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So we understand it's a thing. I'll tell you one thing. Before the Achilles, I was really big into the obstacle course races.
Okay.
So
the Tough Mudder,
Spartan race, things like that, right? So I purchased the Marshawn Lynch altitude mask, and I'd run around Alameda, and everybody was scared when I would be running around and training in Oakland and Alameda, and it was supposed to. One time a dog barked at me. I'm like, what? I'm just trying to get my training in.
Your friend.
Yeah, exactly. I literally look like Bane. My buddy's joke called me the Bane mask, and it was you had different compartments, and this was 10,000 feet. This was 20,000 feet. Do I ultimately think it worked? I don't know. I mean, I did. I still got really tired. I think you have to do everything at that altitude. So for me, I was only running at that with the mask on. I wasn't doing the obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time for me to go, my running was fine. But then as soon as I did a normal obstacle, I didn't feel like, man, it's a good thing I trained at that altitude.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's a whole weird thing too, because if I'm not, and this is where I know I just asked Nate, or do we know what you're saying is true, but this is where I'm going to step over that boundary. And if I'm not mistaken, I know there's weird, blood doping essentially is something where that involves the altitude as well. I'm not saying any of these guys do that, but I just know that there's a bunch of different ways that you can get around this issue. And I know LeBron is somebody who's, since his rookie year, talked about sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber. So I just don't know how much any of this stuff really ends up actually affecting the game. I definitely saw some guys with their hands on their knees in the fourth quarter, but was it any worse than what it normally? We don't see guys straight up.
Is that why they blew a 20-point lead?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say so. I don't know, but I wouldn't say so.
I wouldn't say so either. All right, when we return, we go through the article from Tracy Rodriguez and what she had to say and what De'Aaron Fox had to say about Malik Monk, what Malik Monk had to say about Malik Monk, and we open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140 for your reaction. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Tug Shed, new dog treatment centers, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
This statement is not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit newnordicusa.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Jerry and Kenny here. When you call Bell Brothers for an AC tune-up, repair, or replacement, let me tell you what you can expect. Clean. Our technicians will show up in a company truck that's clean inside and out. They'll be wearing a clean uniform and ring your doorbell with clean hands. The technician will be clean cut, background checked, drug tested, and trustworthy to enter your home. They'll put on clean shoe covers and put down drop cloths in all work areas. That's right, to make sure your home stays clean. And when the work is complete, they'll tidy up and leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Call us neat freaks. Call us spick and span. Call us tidy, pristine, and immaculate. But whatever you do, call Bell Brothers for an AC tune-up and repairs, because with us, you can count on it being clean. Call us at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Maida Chevy saves you $10,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado, LT, RST, and LTZ in stock after rebate. Over 50 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See deal for details, M43024.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The NBA is investigating after a video shows Jokic's brother punching a fan.
Yeah, he socked him.
And he clocked him good.
Yeah. He's also like 6'8". Too. So
Yeah.
Probably.
And the other fan, there were a lot of Laker fans in there. It was loud.
Always.
It was loud. So I don't know if that fan, what happened, but he clocked him good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens there, but yeah, he knocked him out.
Yeah. There's no way I'm still standing after one of
You
the
couldn't
Jokic
eat, you
brothers.
couldn't eat a Jokic punch?
No way.
That's what they were saying about
There's
Haney. We didn't even
no
get to
way.
talk about
Yeah.
Haney Garcia. We'll do that a little later in the show or at some point during this week. Saying Haney has pillow hands and a soft chin. He got knocked out
He got
too.
rocked,
That
man.
3 pound difference.
Yeah, that was enough. It was crazy. Yeah, I mean that fight was absolute. Do you want to do that fight now? No, should we? No.
We
can holster
Let's do
it.
Tristy.
We'll
Let's do
holster it.
Tristy because we've been teasing, and it's an outstanding article. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. And really, people are coming out throwing different numbers, different percentages on Malik Monk staying or leaving. We played the sound yesterday with Malik Monk's exit presser, and a lot of fans in the Sack Chat, the text line, the call line, feeling sad about Malik Monk, not feeling optimistic. And look, money talks. And we went back and forth with people. Hey, what's the difference? 17 million versus 19 million, 17 million versus 20 million. What would be your line? And everybody's got a different line. And Tristy kind of wrote this out. She was speaking with different people, and I'll let you, Chris, kind of break it all down.
Yeah, no, and one of the people that she spoke to was the main source himself, Malik Monk. She spoke directly to the source. And Malik had definitely some interesting things to say. Tristy also noted very importantly that as they were doing this interview at Malik's locker, De'Aaron Fox walked in and
people didn't like this.
Had some fun
People did
words.
not like this.
Yeah, and this is really you can go read Tristy's article over at NBC Sports. That you can read. It's a really lengthy article, tons of good information on there, all about Malik and his free agency. But this is just one section of the article that caught a lot of people's attention. Tristy wrote, Fox remained less than 2 feet away as our interview with Monk continued. While Monk made it clear that Fox had little to no influence in him joining the Kings 2 seasons ago, I asked him if the two had those conversations now as Monk is set to enter a pivotal offseason. As I began to suggest that Fox would like to continue playing on the same team with his best friend, Fox corrected me. He said, "Nah, he's about to go get his money." "Get your money," Fox shouted. Both smiled. Monk added that the two briefly had discussed it over the course of the season, but were more focused on winning games. Said, quote, "We'll probably talk about it after the season," he said. Also talking about it will be Coach Cal, who assured he'll be having some conversations with Vivek Ranadive. Said, quote, "When the free agency stuff comes up, I know Vivek and I will be talking," he said. "Believe me, I'll hear from Vivek. I know that." We'll see. That time is now. If this is what Monk's last season in Sacramento is going to look like, his time with his organization will never be forgotten.
Wait, why is Coach Cal talking to Vivek?
They're, I wouldn't say good buddies, but they have crossed paths.
That's not going to change the 17 million.
No, it's not. Yeah, I don't think everyone has a full grasp on that whole situation.
Coach Cal, you need to pay him more. It always worked for me.
Who knows? I mean, I know Dave and Jason this morning were trying to, get some, you wouldn't call it under the table, but we're trying to get some local deals done for him. Maybe there's some,
the golfing
in
is
the
huge.
CBA things that
Right.
Vivek can do that can make Malik's offer a little bit more enticing.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting what Jason and Dave had to say about the opt-outs. Hey, just give us two more years and then go get the super bag or something like that. 916-339-1140. We want to hear from you on the call line and text line. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. And let's go around the room here. De'Aaron Fox shouting, "Nah, go get your money." Does that bother you as the team leader, or does it not bother you because people are going to get their money anyway? There's two sides of this. Maybe not say that out loud, but at the same time, why does it matter?
Yeah.
It's all out in the open. Malik said it yesterday during the presser. We all know what the Kings are capped at. Why does it matter if De'Aaron Fox says it or not? Off the top of my head, I'm torn on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to lean in the direction of, I understand why De'Aaron said it, because they're boys and he's just having some fun. Not sure it was the best look.
Yeah. That's kind of, I think that's pretty much where I fall to, is like, am I saying De'Aaron isn't pitching Malik at all? No way.
He ain't pitching Malik like Domantas Sabonis. I can tell you that much.
That's true. And yeah, that's also another point too, is, it doesn't have to be one or the, like, he doesn't have to say, go get your money. He doesn't have to say, we want Malik back. Like, there's other ways of saying Malik can do what's best for Malik without outwardly saying,
De'Aaron knows that's going to be in the article. He knows that's going to be in the article.
Yeah, and I think it's, again, pointing to the I don't care, whatever, it's media, that's not real life.
Right.
But I think, I don't want to say there is real life implications to it, but like sometimes perception is reality, and it doesn't really matter if we understand, like if those who are deep and understand their relationship know, that's just not something that your star typically does. Like if Malik does leave, the story is going to be written that De'Aaron didn't try and keep him to, like, there's the Clippers story of them literally locking Blake Griffin in his house.
And I'm not, maybe this doesn't happen, but then De'Aaron in turn is upset that the media spun something.
Him, right.
You're the one who yelled, get your money during an interview,
yes, exactly. You didn't
knowing that they were going to put that in the article.
Right.
So if he does, and meanwhile,
and in the press conference,
the press conference one, and we can replay it. We played it yesterday. The press conference one, to me, that one I don't have a problem with.
It wasn't as
this
overt.
one was a little bit different. Meanwhile, you have Domas saying, I'm asking Malik to stay every single day.
Right.
So you have two completely different approaches here. Let's play it again. Let's hear from De'Aaron. This is what he said after the game that I didn't have a problem with at all.
I mean, obviously, I think he was extremely big for us. People that watch us play know that he should be sixth man of the year, but at the end of the day, you know that this is a business, and I feel like what he gave to us in the 2 years that he has been here, I feel like he showed his value, what he can do for a team, and I'm happy for him regardless if he's with us or he isn't, and he knows that. But man, at the end of the day, this is a business. You can only play basketball for so long. Yeah, definitely. I mean, for sure. But, money talks. Like I said, you can't play this game for forever. You have such a short window to play basketball. Obviously, not everybody's going to be Bron or CP and play 19, 20 years. So you have to be able to get paid whenever you can, obviously. And, that's what Vince Carter told me. And he played 21 years. So, nah, man, Malik's, like I said, Malik was great for us. Obviously, I would love to have him back, but I don't know what the future holds.
You know what? And Frankie tweeted too. Frankie Cardicelli, Sactown Sports Kings insider. Frankie's numbers are dwindling, and you start to mix this stuff together, and they're dwindling for me too, Chris. I got to be honest.
You said Frankie's numbers?
He had to compare. I'll find the tweet, but it was basically.
I thought you meant like his likes. I was like, dang, bro.
No,
That's
brutal.
No. Frankie ain't been popping since the season ended, y'all.
No, his percentage, his confidence meter on Malik staying, he said, is shrinking.
Can I say? It's kind of a little hypocritical of Fox to say, just to keep saying it's a business. Shouldn't he be in the business of keeping Malik there for himself?
For his business,
yeah. Right. Well, 209 is saying, if they're close, we know they're close. 209 says, I think Fox knows he's leaving and Fox is trying to prepare the fan base. I kind of agree with.
I think they know it's a very large possibility.
And he's telling front office, he's gone. We know he's capped, whatever it is. Start working on the replacement.
Sure. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to push back on any definites being made. I just don't think anything is for sure. I think they know that there's more money out there, but I don't think anybody knows that Malik has already made his decision. Mm-hmm. I do want to play a bit of devil's advocate with De'Aaron.
Okay. I'm listening.
On De'Aaron's side, saying, I kind like as the human element of this, forget the PR, forget the business side of it. Like, wouldn't you rather have somebody who is your close friend? Wouldn't you rather have them be real and be honest about the situation instead of going public and like just kind of shilling, always saying like, yeah, Malik's the best. We really like almost putting a lot of pressure on Malik to stay by almost painting him as, we really want him to stay. He knows how much we need him.
I'll be
love
let
him
down
here.
if he leaves.
I'll be let down if he leaves. It'll really hurt. I understand he's got to do what he's going to do, but we just really need him here to build this thing out. Like, couldn't you argue that's being, I don't want to say a worse friend, but like not being as real because, again, the reality of the situation is everyone knows what it is. And I think De'Aaron being upfront and saying, he even says, obviously I'm going to recruit him. I want him to be here. Slater asked him the follow-up, like, are you going to recruit him at all? He's like, of course I'm going to try. But the reality of the situation is he can get his money and we can try and persuade him all we want. But at the end of the day, the money is the money, and there's nothing we can do about that. So
I hear what you're saying. I just think it's perception. And De'Aaron Fox is a guy we played the sound. There was podium gate. Then he went on to say, hey, my teammates don't give a bleep if I go up there either way. But I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate somebody being real. I just think that perception wise, De'Aaron is very low key, whatever. For De'Aaron to, in the locker room during an interview, say, get your money, that is going to come off to certain fans, not all fans. Some fans are going to get it, some are not. That is going to come off as if, the Michael Jordan meme, bleep them kids, bleep them fans, bleep that team. Right. I'm not saying that that's how De'Aaron made it seem. I'm just saying for who we see De'Aaron to be in the media. Right. And I don't know De'Aaron personally, but it just felt not calculated, but it just felt unnecessary to say that, knowing that a piece is it's an interview, and he knows that that's going to get captured.
No, and on the flip side, he can say,
hey man, behind closed doors, get your money. Everything that he said after the game was cool. Yeah. He was real about it. Whatever. That extra little salt in the wound thing, as if, whether we win or lose, because that's what people are going to say. Whether we win or lose, I got my money. I'm chilling. That's probably not fair, but that is how it goes.
Right. Yeah, no, and I mean, to argue against myself, too, it's like, at the end of the day, if Malik does leave, and then you ask the question of, did we do everything we possibly did to make sure he was going to stay? The clear and obvious thing is going to be, well, our point guard could have publicly pressured him a little bit more,
or at least not.
Did we really do everything to make him stay,
or say get your money and essentially encourage him?
Yes, exactly.
While media members are in there to leave.
Yes,
that's hustling backwards, and especially when we talked about and people can get moved, but we saw the free agent list.
Yeah,
it's not pretty. It's not the creamiest of crops, Chris. Doug, we see you. We will get to you when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
Now here's what I want you all to do for me.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
916-339-1140. De'Aaron Fox in the locker room and maybe he didn't know it was a full-blown piece that was being written, but De'Aaron Fox, while Malik Monk was being interviewed, said, "Get your money, man." That's what my dad always says. Get your money. That's what he said to Malik Monk. And so, Chris, to reset this up, if you're just now joining us, thank you for joining us. Malik, so Tristy or an NBC Sports California, whoever else was with Tristy, she was alone or not, was asking Malik Monk, this is Tristy saying, as I began to suggest that Fox would like to continue playing on the same team with his best friend, Fox corrected me. So she was talking to De'Aaron. I believe.
I think she was talking to Malik, but
De'Aaron heard.
There, yes.
And he shouts, nah, he's about to get his money. So he shouts over to them in the locker room, "Get your money." And then they both smiled. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Doug, who wants to be part of the conversation. Doug, what you think? Fair or foul with what De'Aaron Fox said?
Good morning, first gentlemen. We'll get the pleasantries out of the way. For me, the thing about in your lifetime, you only have so many available hours to go in and make the money that you need to make. And then in sports, eventually on one play, you can end your career. Mm-hmm. It happens in basketball more so than football. But I want him to stay. I've been a Kings fan since '89 and stuff. And so I want him to be here because we're taking one step at a time to try to build. And then you take a step backwards by losing your key guy on your bench. Then what do? Then you got to start over again, add another guy, and then try to add another piece. So it's very painstakingly slow at this process. But again, we waited 16, 17 years to get into playoffs, get into the play-in. So I understand if he goes. One of the considerations I would have, though, is like, hey, you're going to go sign with somebody who's doesn't have a chance of making the playoffs because you got your money, and then you go to work and you're going, hey, man, we're not going to be very good. All I'm going to do is get my tail kicked every day. And it's like, so for me, that's a consideration in addition to the money. What I'm asking, which I don't understand the CBA well enough, is could you sign him that he would take a 1-year deal and then renegotiate next year because then they would have more available to do that next year. That's my consideration. One last thing is what we talked about at the beginning of the year. I gave you guys the numbers. If you win 75% of your home games and 50% on the road, you come up with 52 wins. That would have been a nice thing to do. We did it on the road this year, just couldn't cover it at home. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call, Doug. Yeah, great stuff as always.
Yeah. There's just Malik wouldn't do that. It just wouldn't make any sense for him to sign a 1-year deal. He might be able to sign a 2-year deal if he wants to kind of, temporarily sign for a situation and more so the Kings situation, and then again see if there's a big bag out there. But a 1-year deal wouldn't make sense. That's essentially a prove it year, and Malik just had that. And why would he risk the potential of having another having a bad season or potentially getting hurt again?
Yeah, he didn't even get to finish out this season.
Exactly. So it just wouldn't make sense for Malik Monk to sign a 1-year contract. He's definitely going to sign at least a 2-year deal, more than likely a 3 or 4-year deal.
Yeah, that's how Doug kind of started it, just by saying you got to sign and get your money while you can. And that's literally what De'Aaron Fox said. Again, I don't have a problem with De'Aaron Fox's thought process on this. I'm just not sure you should have said that out loud. And look, will it ultimately make a difference? No, it's not going to sway Malik Monk either way, I don't think. And I think it was a great point that you made as far as, hey, if you want to be a friend, you can be, you want to be real. And I do think if De'Aaron Fox is nothing else in this world, he is real.
He's definitely real.
I
almost to a fault sometimes.
Yes, and I will 1,000% appreciate that and respect the heck out of that. If Malik now goes and you're stuck, Chris, I know that we've gone back and forth, and we're only on day 2 of the offseason here, but there is a possibility, and we have a quote from Monty McNair that we'll read off from this Howard Beck Ringer article. Plenty of Kings articles out there.
Too much.
If you want to get your fix. I think
there's like 3 at the Athletic right now.
And the NBA world is just as much interested in the Kings as we are, because everybody is very, very compelled by what they are going to do next.
Point. Yeah.
So, Monty McNair feels like they're in a good spot, but there is a version of this. There is a version of this reality where they could be closer to running it back than not running it back. And if that happens and people start saying, oh my gosh, and we saw it even with De'Aaron, not the most efficient 35, but he did have 35. Get De'Aaron Fox some help. Mm-hmm. There's going to be somebody out there saying, well, De'Aaron, he told Malik to go get his money.
Right.
And now, so you can't complain about
help out the door.
Right. Yeah. You can't complain about no help if you're telling people to go get your money. Sure. Would that have made a difference? I don't know. Everybody's different. Right. If somebody tells me,
a narrative,
it just adds a narrative, whether it's true or not. If somebody tells me, everybody is different, and maybe De'Aaron knows Malik better than all of us. Well, not maybe, he definitely does. But some people want to be told, hey man, let's do this thing. Yeah. Some people just need their own space, right? But I do think it's a good point you make about the Clippers and they're the stories. Hey,
don't let Blake leave without signing.
We know it's 17. We'll do X, Y, and Z. We got Steven arranging your shoes and color coordinated. That's what Steven said during the morning show. You can have all the golf that you want, right? I mean, anything that you need, food for life, because then it would take care of, hey, you're only making 17 mil.
Right. We can never got that 5.
You never got to pay for food. Right. You never got to pay for golf.
Find
right?
a gas station,
maybe. All the cars that you could want, right? Free charging stations. So if he goes, I don't think that it'll be a big story, but do I think it was the best look in the world for De'Aaron? I think there are better looks to be had.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it just feels like, again, like you just added fuel to somebody's fire in the sense of, if Malik does leave, they're instantly going to turn to these comments and say, yeah, your star player. Well, when your star player doesn't really have his back and when your star player isn't publicly campaigning for him to stay, what did you expect? Like, I think De'Aaron's just kind of making his own bed here, and we'll see if he has to lay in it. I ultimately, if this ends up going down with De'Aaron being real, like I can live with it, because I don't think it's like, I think this is just who he is. Like, I think I would much rather have him, be real than lie in front of us and plead. And I think the way he's approaching it isn't the best way, but at the same time, like like you've said, I just don't think it ultimately is going to have a say on the results of how everything ends up shaking out.
No, I don't believe it will at all. It's just a matter of people like us and other people in the media, whether that be locally or nationally, just saying, well, that was an interesting approach by De'Aaron. And I truly don't think it will make a difference. I think Malik is going to do so. Malik is a grown man. Yeah. He's going to do what.
Could you imagine Malik being like, I want to stay for Sac, but I just didn't really feel like De'Aaron wants me there.
Exactly. If De'Aaron had said more to me, then maybe I would have stayed. I don't see that happening. But on the outside looking in, when you hear somebody say, it's just a trigger, right? We had a texter yesterday who said, if you can't survive off 17 million. So all the people like that, and we figured it out with the texter. So I'm just saying, all the people like that, that feel like, these people only care about money. And now you haven't won. It sounds like you only care about money. It's just stuff that is very triggering. And honestly, for a franchise guy that I don't even know how much Kings fans are sold on. Yeah. That's one of my takeaways, Chris, and we're going to do our superlatives, just takeaways from the season. One of my takeaways is that I don't know how much Kings fans are sold and would go to bat for De'Aaron Fox. But that's a conversation, my friend, for another day. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Snatch De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531. 808-2531.
Thinking of remodeling your home? Say goodbye to endless internet searches and visit Subcontractors United. Find a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in each home service category. From cabinets to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy, with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass, Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard, aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Tub Shed, New Dawn Treatment Sensors, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
There is a different vibe at night at the Hagen Oaks Range, powered by Top Tracer. It's more relaxed, with golfers and newbies side by side enjoying the technology used on televised golf tournaments. Play a variety of fun games. Play Pebble Beach. Compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Or treat yourself to 9 holes on the Mackenzie putting course. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. And don't forget to check the summer-long free concert schedule at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Sactown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Speaking of Malik Monk,
How many M's is he about to have in his bank account?
Man, a lot. What is your percentage at right now? And we can continue to do this. We can do, instead of Pocket Watch, it could be Malik Monk Watch, and we'll come up with a better name there.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about the name. Like a percentage, like what percent do I think he stays, kind of thing, or is it like a confidence meter? We'll do a confidence meter, 1 out of 10. How about that?
3 for me.
As in, you are a 3 out of 10.
I think he's gone.
You think he's ghost?
I was gonna give a 10 if it wasn't our confidence.
Mhm.
Or if
Yeah.
it was the other one. Yeah.
Here's
not a 10%.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Sure. Here's Frankie. This is what I was trying to say during the last segment. Frankie put out a poll, and he said Kings fans, after hearing Malik Monk's final press conference of the season, how confident are you that he will re-sign with Sacramento this summer? His options are he's coming back, leaning positive / hopeful, 50-50, no idea. Last one, he's gone. 10%, he's coming back. He had over 1,000 votes.
Number is going down.
All right.
Sorry.
Frankie, you heard incorrectly if you're listening. I know you're listening. Fastest growing show. He's coming back 10%. Leaning positive / hopeful, 24%.
Okay.
50-50, no idea. That's the highest one, 37%. Good. He's gone, 28%.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I would be a lot more towards the 50-50 camp. I'll probably put it right now. I'll put my confidence meter at like I'll put it at like a 4.5, which would, or 45%.
Where would
you like more.
Where would you have voted?
I would have done the 50-50 because I do truly think it's a toss-up. Like I think I could definitely lay out all the reasons why it makes tons of sense for Malik to stay. Money is a big motivating factor, as we've talked about the last half hour. So I could definitely understand why he would leave the situation, but I just think that there's a lot of positives too. I think people are discounting, no pun intended, the factor of him staying here and the comfortability and the knowing what he does know. And, it's not like he's signing a lifetime contract here. It would just be, it'd probably be a 3 to 4 year deal with an opt out in the middle. So I think there's a lot of reasons for him to stay. I think the Kings haven't given him a lot of reasons to leave. That's why I think I feel so 50-50 on it. And really, it's just the money. If we're just doing situation for situation, I just think that Malik is going to be happier here in Sacramento. And I don't know if they've necessarily done anything that would make him want to actively leave besides the money.
Frankie goes on to say, all season long, my gut has been 70-30, 70 being that he stays. That number is now down. And Frankie he can yes. be, I was going to say he's an optimist, but he can also be a pessimist. Sure. That number is now down to 49-51. 49% he stays, 51% he leaves. You could sense, see, feel the emotion from Malik today. I don't think he wants to leave, but I think it would be very, very hard for him to turn down a bigger payday. And then underneath, he says he's earned it. That is from Frankie Cardicelli, eternal optimist. 916-339-1140. Let's go to KC, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, KC? What you got for us?
How you guys doing today?
We're good. We're good.
I have a question for you. I know that this year has kind of been very disappointing. They probably were expected to make the playoffs, but they didn't. What are the prospects that, they look at the strength of the Western Conference next year and they see Victor Wembanyama's coming. The Rockets are going to be even better. The Grizzlies are going to be fully healthy. That they may be looking at probably not to their own fault, but they might be looking at, hey, we'll be either in the play-in or not make the playoffs at all. What is the prospect that they maybe look towards the 2025 class and Cooper Flagg and the 2026 class with all that talent and say, let's explore the Fox Sabonis trade market, see what we can get for him, and maybe retool around Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis, and maybe take a short-term step back for long-term gains.
Thanks for the call, Casey. And with that, folks, we are officially
we're in offseason.
In the offseason. That is the call that officially starts off the offseason. The offseason doesn't start until somebody says, let's think about trading one of our stars. And here we are. And Casey, that's an outstanding call. And you will have some people that would agree with it. I hear what you're saying. I've been banging the drum on the Grizzlies not going anywhere, and they're going to retool. I just think that personally, Chris, they're not going to how do I say this?
It's too early in the process.
I don't know if Keegan Murray, I got to say this respectfully, I don't know if Keegan Murray is good enough to make that move.
Yeah,
if anything, Keegan would be the one.
Honestly, I just think none of it. Keegan Murray could be looking like Paolo Banchero right now. I don't think that there's any way that this team has just now gotten to playoff contention. They don't care that other young teams are surrounding them. They believe that they're in that same crop. So It's not like the Warriors or the Clippers where they have some older stars and you could shift eras here. De'Aaron Fox is 27, 28 years old. Domantas Sabonis the exact same. They're young guys. They're entering their prime right now. The Kings are not moving off of this timeline anytime soon. At the earliest, maybe next offseason you can call in and we can maybe have that discussion more in length because, if the Kings have another disappointing season, I think then it's truly any and everybody is on the table. But this offseason right now, it's just a step back. You can't look at the top of the draft class and say Cooper Flagg is somebody we need.
Are you talking? Yeah, because are you talking about not tanking, but how would you even get up there?
I mean, I think he's saying the
trade for
saying
the picks,
trade De'Aaron and Sabonis this year, and you'll be in position to get that pick. I think is what the caller's saying there. Which, again, the Kings have just had back-to-back winning seasons, but seasons of 10 wins over 500. There's no way they're going to sell that off for playing the lottery game again. We've been there way too many times.
And I have been very intrigued with Cooper Flagg from mostly because of his nickname, the Main Event, I think is outstanding. But Cooper Flagg,
that's also one player. You have to be sure that you're getting that number one pick, which has never been less of a guarantee.
And Cooper Flagg coming off the heels of Wembanyama, you cannot tank for somebody unless you think he is going to be that dude. And I really like Cooper Flagg, but he is not a can't miss Wembanyama type. So I don't think that even if that you were to entertain that, you would have to entertain that for somebody, maybe not Wembanyama level or somewhere near it. So there's just too many ifs to do something like that. I think the question that's going to come up more throughout this offseason is going to be Keegan Murray more than anything else, because he is the best young piece that they have to help get you back a star and build on the two stars you already have. I don't think they would take a step back like that, because you're taking a step back. You're not just, it's one thing to take a step back and like taking a step back for Wembanyama, okay, and I guess he could have flamed
Even
out
then,
either.
It's not a good idea.
Taking a step back into the unknown is just not a good business model.
It's just not even something we should realistically entertain. Like it's just not happening, and B, it doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for the Kings to suffer and go through another. I mean, they already started technically a playoff drought this season. No need to continue that on. The goal is to make the playoffs next year, obviously make some noise. And yeah, I mean, they haven't even truly gone for the title yet in this run. They haven't made that trade that we keep talking about for that third star or for the thing that actually makes you think that you're in title contention. You got to do that. There's just an order of operations that you've got to realistically try your heart out to make this current crop work. And then once this crop doesn't work, that's when you can adjust. But you can't adjust 2 years into this thing.
Yeah, I liken where the Kings are at to the Blazers when they had Dame and CJ, and they had to come up against some of those Warriors teams. But Dame and CJ, they tried to make moves here or there. I think at one point they have Nurkic at one point. Yep. They tried different things, and it just ultimately didn't work out. But it felt like, all right, we had our two pieces, but they stuck with Dame and CJ and tried other things. I think that's normally the way to do it.
Yes.
I'm sure in Portland radio, they had people saying, well, why don't you move one of them? And eventually they moved off of both of them. Yeah. But I don't think that the Kings are anywhere near that. And I do think that if you're going to look to move any of the key pieces, it would be Keegan Murray before guys like De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. When we return, continue the conversation. TC, we see you. Ashley, we see you. Malik Monk, will they do right by our guy? Does it matter? Is it a better chance of Malik getting more money if he wins six-man? He deserves it either way. Also, we're breaking down Jordi Fernandez being officially named to the Brooklyn Nets head coach. Who will fill that void for the Kings? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back, He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of the spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort. See what we can do for you with a free fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one near you. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Everybody needs Good Feet.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
A video going around with the Giants, and they added this thing where it's so when Camilo Doval comes in to close, the lights will flicker.
Right. It's
and
for home runs too, isn't it?
They do it for home runs as well. but there's a scene or there's a clip where I guess they started it a little early as Doval is getting ready to come in the game. So he's winding up in the bullpen and the stadium, and it goes dark. And people are saying, like is the catcher okay? Because it's 98 and he couldn't see anything.
Lights come back on, the catcher.
Right. So you couldn't see anything. And someone said, I don't know how safe that is.
No, my dad said when he played football in high school, they used to put him in a room with a strobe light and throw the football at him. And that was like a training thing. And I'm like, dude, first of all, that's a seizure threat, right? That's insane.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
My dad's like 90 years old.
Right, exactly. They don't make football players and baseball players like they used to. 916-339-1140. Let's go to TC, who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Alan, Chris, what's going on?
Man, it's a nice Tuesday. Talking Malik Monk. What you need?
Yeah, man, we talking Malik Monk. You know what? Hey, I got 2 points for the offseason and Malik Monk. First and foremost, let's go with Malik. I really think Malik is going to sign back, big dog. Like, seriously. But if he doesn't, though, it's not going to be the end of the world. I know I called yesterday with that, though, but I really been sitting on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in my feelings or any of that, bro. But I'm really like, would it be cool? Like, we want him back 100%. This is not like we're just like turning our nose up like, oh, whatever. We don't really need Malik. Like, we need Malik. But like, if we don't bring him back, bro, it's not going to be the end of the world. This is like a team that we have to get better as a team. You get me? And Malik was just part of it. You get me?
Yeah.
And also, like, as far as the free agents, like, bro, like, if we can't get them, then there's other moves that we can be made, even if we can bring him back. Like, I'm looking at people like, if we're not bringing back McGee, right? And then if we don't bring back Alex, I'm thinking about bringing Alex back. But why not go try to go get Valanciunas? He's a free agent. You get me? Look at a person like Gary Trent Jr. Look at the boy that just torches, that looking like he was a prime Kawhi Leonard, or who else was a two-way player, a lockdown defender? The boy Marshall, Najee Marshall from the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the call, TC. Yeah, the thing about the free agent thing is, and I'm very honest, Chris.
Yeah.
There's so much about
it's crazy
cap space and teams that are already
all that.
Yeah, teams that are already looking to re-sign these guys.
Right.
There's so much that we're going to have a lot of people on the show to explain it to people like me, people like you, and to everybody listening. Because I was asking you, how are they number 23 in money spent?
Right.
Okay. They're number 23 as far as their salary is concerned, but at the same time, they don't have any cap space. Well, then the question is, we'll just go into the luxury tax. That's what I said to you before the show yesterday. Well, the thing is, you can't just decide you're going to go into the luxury tax by bringing somebody on. It has to happen somewhat organically.
Right.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's
a total mess. Yeah. And it's not just, I know TC brought up like Jonas Valanciunas. Like, I don't think the Kings can afford, like, you can't just, if Malik goes, that's the problem with Malik leaving is the scary thing. You can't just replace Malik with somebody for that contract. Like, Malik's the only person the Kings can dedicate that money to. They can't just put it somewhere else. They only have a $12.9 million mid-level exception, which sounds like a lot, but then when you look at the players who make that money, it's just not really in that Jonas Valanciunas tier, or maybe some impact players. You're probably not going to get that same value that you got out of Malik there. So it's just a really, really tough thing. I hear what TC's saying about it's a team, and the Kings did play well down the stretch without Malik in some spurts, but ultimately I just think Malik is an irreplaceable piece. I just don't think you can casually move on and replace Malik Monk or live without his production. I think if anything, the Kings would have to wholesale change who they are as an identity if they're going to lose Malik, because that's just a scoring pop that you just can't replicate. And it's what makes it so scary about him leaving is it's just not somebody you can easily replace.
No. And we've seen some names, and a lot of people see other players in spurts and think maybe that this person can do this or this person can do that.
Exactly.
You're getting to the point now. you can go into the luxury tax, and we'll have some capologists on and things like that as we get closer to, or once free agency starts.
Right.
So you can get there, and we believe Vivek will open up his pockets, but it's just the rules as to how you get there. It's paying your own players. It's very confusing stuff, but we will definitely come up with a list once we have all the nooks and crannies figured out of who the Kings should be targeting. Let's get to Ashley, who wants to be a part of the conversation. Always a great call. What's up, Ashley? What you got for us?
So I've been looking, and I want to see your guys' thoughts on this, but I actually think Keegan has Tatum-esque potential. And the part of why is they have a similar play style in terms of three-pointer shot, mid-range, made this year, all that. But also kind of looking at the Kings, I almost see us as a Celtics-esque team from 2018-19. They didn't have a ton of stars, but they had Kyrie, which would be basically our De'Aaron. They had Tatum, like I said. I kind of feel like he might be a Keegan for us. And then they also had Jaylen Brown, who at the time he wasn't quite what he is. So, I mean, he almost was Monk-esque for them.
Mm-hmm.
They had Gordon Hayward, who stretched the court and couldn't knock down some shots, kind of like a Harrison Barnes. I think that season he was around 12 points a game. So nothing crazy, but Tatum, he didn't have much improvement from year 1 to year 2. It was really year 2 to year 3 and 3 to 4. And so I'm wondering, because Tatum was right around that 13, 15 points per game after his second year.
Right.
Do you think he can make that jump to 20, 22 points a game, especially if something like Monk doesn't come back? It gives a little bit more volume. And the amount of threes that we've been shooting and the defense that we've been playing, I think it puts us on a track similar to the Celtics. What do you think of that?
No, thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Ashley. I'll tell you this much. If Keegan Murray can get anywhere near Jason Tatum, I think Kings fans would love that. I think that Jason Tatum, I think two things can be true. I don't know that Keegan Murray is going to get to Jason Tatum level. I just think athletically Jason Tatum is more explosive and things like that. But that can be separate to, do I believe that Keegan could get to 22 points per game? Chris, we did this earlier in the season, and people talk a lot about the leap, the third year leap. And I do think that we can put the Jason Tatum comparisons aside.
I'm trying.
And still say that Keegan could have a huge third year leap. He had 1 year where you saw what he could do offensively.
Mm-hmm.
He had another year where he upped it defensively and started to open up his bag a little bit. So in this third year, can he start to put it all together? So I think we can have that conversation.
Okay.
What,
struggling.
Chris?
Nothing. That was tough. I was just struggling. I just can't. He's not going to become Jason Tatum. That's
no. Okay. I know. I hear you.
Yes,
I hear you.
That's the part I was having trouble getting.
No, I hear you. But separate that and let's
I'll
just
try.
talk third year leap.
Yes. I mean, yeah. Can he take a leap? Absolutely. He was at what, like 16 points per game this year? 15 points per game this year.
That's 7 points more. I don't know about that, but let's get to 20.
Let's
get to 20.
20 is even a really big leap. That would have to be Malik's not there, and we're asking Keegan to take that leap.
The end of this season, shooting that much, but then you also can do more than, because you're not going to average 20 with Keegan's current bag. Not in this NBA.
No, he's got to be able to finish. He's got to be able to get to the line. I mean, Jason Tatum is even somebody who gets to the line 4 or 5 times a game. Keegan's struggling to even get one trip to the line these days. So he's got a lot of work to do in that department for sure. He's got to finish better. He's got to have the ball, be able to create with the ball in his hands a lot better if he's going to be that primary of a scorer. Because frankly, I mean, he's been in a way a glorified spot up shooter these past 2 years. If you're going to reach the 20 point per game mark, you're going to have to create some of that yourself. You can't have all of your points be created for you. And that's definitely the biggest leap for Keegan from 15 to 20.
And he knows that. He spoke about that yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he spoke about it a ton, and he's definitely going to work on it a lot. But in terms of this team becoming like the Celtics, and I think Ashley compared them to the 2018 Celtics, I just don't think so. I think that team, you talk about how much talent is just on that team. You didn't even mention like Marcus Smart and, they just had tons of different veteran guys. They had a Morris brother out there. They still had Al Horford out there as well. Robert Williams just chilling on the bench. That team had a ton of talent. And that's really something we talked about yesterday when it came to comparing the Kings versus the Pelicans. It's just really evident that there's so many teams, especially in this West, that just have a war chest of a bench, and the Kings are out here throwing out, hoping Chris Duarte can give them a good 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's true. And
meanwhile, they're paying Peyton Pritchard, who's like their 12th guy, and they just signed him to like a 4-year extension last.
Well, and that's what our guy Kyle Draper was talking about yesterday. And again, we're all trying to figure this thing out, and we need the capologist. If you know one, call him up and have him call into the show, because Draper's even saying, how are these teams adding all these players and the Kings are already against the cap?
Sure.
And then he followed that up by saying, okay, well, once you get good, there are players that are willing to play for less, which is what I think. I think he used Porzingis as that example. So yeah, we will continue this conversation. Phone lines are on fire off season, but it's not the off season for Stiles and Watkins. We keep it hot every single day. Ken, we see you. Jennifer, we see you. Garrett, we see you. Give us just a second, and we're getting to all your calls. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left, throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick tonight, a career high. 3 touchdown catches for George. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Some people just know safe drivers save more with Allstate. Just like they know a saxophone solo makes any song smoother. See? Smooth. And they know if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 40% with Allstate. Now that's nice.
Based on the national average premium savings for Allstate customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Were you recently in a car accident? Don't let the insurance companies push you around. Turn to the experts at Gonzalez Law. Our team specializes in car accident cases, wrongful termination, and criminal defense, fighting tirelessly to get you the compensation and justice you deserve. With years of experience and a track record of success, we don't settle for less, and neither should you. Visit ZachLegalDefense.com or call 916-304-9187 for a free consultation. Gonzalez Law, your advocate in the fight for justice.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From Nate's really jamming back there. From the 916, our guy that we met at our event, and we will have more.
Yes,
trust me.
for sure.
You know, Dave isn't the only one. Dave's talking about all of his events. Well, we got some too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And Dave, you better be there again. From Hey Johnny K. Now, I'm not saying I don't like Malik Monk. I love watching him, and I love his game, and I think he's the perfect six man for any team, but not a starter. But, in all caps, Malik gets in his head too much, as we've seen with free throws at the end of games. Also, he can be a little spastic with the passes sometimes. He also couldn't get his game back on track before the end of the season, before he got injured, after he got upset and stormed off the court. These are just a few of the things that other teams will be looking at when thinking about Malik Monk. So, hey, Johnny K, are you trying to convince other teams to not take him?
Right.
Or are you saying that the Kings would be okay without him? I won't really – it's not that I'm agreeing or disagreeing with hey, Johnny K. All I'll say is that this team is built a certain way, and I don't know. This team is going – even if Malik comes back, changes need to be made in how this team was constructed.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. There was way too much on Malik, way too much on Sabonis, way too much on De'Aaron. And, you know, big three, there are levels to big threes. And for the level that they are at right now, you need more help off the bench. And look at Jokic. I mean, that's the thing. We're talking like it's not a negative on the Kings. All of these guys have that's a bad bench. It's a bad bench.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It did not perform. I mean, especially in those last couple games, like you look at the bench scoring and it was under 15. Like Davion did great in that last game against the Pelicans. But you know, him and Trey really struggled in that Golden State game. And you know, you didn't have the consistency of, is Duarte coming off the bench? Is Kessler Edwards coming off the bench? Like, we didn't know once Malik went out. It was a really bad bench. To the point that Mike Brown pretty much played 7 players in the gotta have it elimination game. I think, 8, because Sasha eventually got the call as well. He just didn't trust him. He just never, all year he was searching. People got upset because they were like, Mike Brown can't find consistent rotation. No, Mike Brown couldn't consistently find somebody who was giving good effort and was doing what needed to be done every game. It was a bad bench. I'm right there with you. They were not deep enough. We thought they could have been deep enough, but again, we've talked about it. None of the offseason transactions really ended up panning out, and that was pretty much how the Kings' depth was going to be structured.
Yeah, I look, some of those early shows that we did when I was, you know, we were getting started here, and we talked about how deep the bench is. I also think that every fan base thinks that they have a deep bench.
Yes, they do.
Until the season starts, and then they don't have. Oh, Jennifer, we were just about to get to you, and you hung up. All right, Ken, what you got for us?
Hey, what do you do, gentlemen? How you doing this afternoon?
Good, man.
I just want to say something real quick, just because I thought, hey, man, I guarantee you, y'all not going to say to Monk's face, man, listen, man, you are not doing all these things, man, to that man who is so passionate about being here, passionate about the game. you put fuel to the fire. I wasn't going to even speak on this, but just your last comment, you put fuel to the fire. That is unnecessary. Cat has won.
But Ken, but this is what happens. I think you're hearing us reading texts. What did we say about Malik Monk? This has happened before. I don't think we said this. I think you're listening to us reading off text messages from other people.
Oh, okay. I thought you gentlemen was speaking as like Monk has not done this and he's not done that.
No, we were reading a text. Yeah, we were reading a text.
Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, that I want to speak on Monk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into the situation. Sacramento, man, watch. We have an all-star, that's playing on a team, DiVincenzo. That we got rid of that guy 2 years ago. I already knew, man, he was a good player.
Yep.
The way the commentators talked about that guy last night, I'm like, I knew we had a good player. And we got rid of him. I don't know how we got rid of him, or I don't know the reason why, but I don't want Sacramento to make that same mistake with Monk. We cannot. And then you just talked about our bench. If you get rid of Monk, that's the mold of the bench. You know what I'm saying? If you don't start him, and starting and coming off the bench is overrated. You can start a game, be in there 2 minutes, bench can come in and play more minutes just because you start. That's overrated. So we ain't gonna even talk about starting and be on the bench. But you have to have a strong bench. And like you mentioned, our bench is weak. And we can't get rid of Monk like that.
Yeah.
Monk is a passionate cat, TC. I know you talked about a team TC out there, but, building the team is building from stars, that already play into the system. And you already see Monk plays into the system and Mike Brown. He trusts it. He trusts his teammates. But we have to get rid of the Lighty Brighties. Our Lighty Brighties have not performed well this year. So I'm just saying, once we get a stronger bench, and once we get creative with our selection of players, we'll be a great team. But don't get rid of Monk.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo is going off in the playoffs.
Game winner.
On the New York Knicks. Come on, man.
Game winner.
We aim him.
I know. I know.
So how you guys feel, man? I normally drop the mic, but I want to get your feelings on the station because I'm at my office.
No, you're good. You're good, Ken. Make that money. Thanks for the call, Ken.
Yes,
I'm surprised it took that long for the DiVincenzo. I completely that went way over my head. The DiVincenzo game winner, by the way.
It made me sad.
And you know who else is doing that? The Kings are doing that. Warrior fans are saying this. Steve Kerr had him playing power forward and setting screens. So both NorCal teams are upset about DiVincenzo. But neither team was going to allow that man to take 33s a game.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest difference with the Dante thing specifically is Dante's in a situation now where he's in his dreamland. Like they're just telling him, Dante, we ain't got nobody else who can shoot like you. Let it fly. And he's definitely doing that. But and absolutely shout out him. But I think the point still stands that you just don't want to see your old players in playoff situations, right? Especially when you're knocked out. The last thing you want to see is Malik Monk dropping a 20-piece to help the Orlando Magic advance to the second round or something.
Just because semantics matter and wording matters, Ken did say you can't get rid of Malik Monk. They want Malik Monk. Yeah. It's just a matter of whether Malik Monk wants it deemed $17 million a year enough compared to what we don't know what other offers he's going to get. But they definitely are not going to get rid of Malik Monk. The ball is in Malik Monk's court. Will. Will, go ahead. Nate already briefed us. I guess you're coming after us. What do you have for us, Will?
I'm gonna rip y'all. Look, Styles. You cool. Watkins has always been a Bron hater. I ain't gonna talk to him.
Will, no. Hey, brother. Hey, hold on. I am many things. Hater, I am not a LeBron James hater at all.
When were we talking about LeBron?
When were we talking? Hold on, Will. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
I hear you all the time, man. Look here. We're gonna be diplomatic right here.
Yes,
look.
Yeah.
Who beat New Orleans and made it to the playoffs? The Lakers or the Kings?
The Lakers did. Yes, sir.
Case closed. Don't even talk about that. Look, you know this, Styles. Let's be honest. The Lakers wasn't complaining about fouls in the whole game. The Lakers, look, Jokic, everybody knows Jokic travels all the time. He changes pivot feet. He pick up his flops all the time. You know this. That Jokic get away with more stuff than that. He's 8 feet tall, and anybody bump into him, he falls like the Grand Canyon. You know, that's what they're saying. In crucial times, the Lakers did get some hacks, and they didn't get the call. But let me move on. Look, it's not about Keegan. Everybody talking about what Keegan has to do. It's the Kings. Keegan is a catch and shoot guy. I don't think he's going to ever be able, like what Watkins was saying, he's not going to be able to put the ball on the floor and create a shot. That's not him. You can see he's a catch and shoot guy. Okay, let me move on.
Mm-hmm.
You guys making a joke about Jokic's brother punching Jokic's brother, punch some guy in the face. Look, don't laugh about that. It could have been your father. It could have been your brother. It could have been your cousin. And I'm telling you right now, they think they bad. They think they the Klitschko brothers. But let me tell you something. They hit the wrong Laker fan in the face. They better get some bodyguards. I'm telling you right now. Them guys, I've seen them try to bully people before at games. Somebody needs to tell them, ain't nobody going to fight them big old dudes. Ain't nobody going to fight them, but they better be careful.
Thanks for the call, Will. That might be the call of the year.
Who does Will hate more, Chris
I love Will
or Jokic?
That was outstanding. Will, we were not making fun of it. He got knocked out, Will. He got knocked out, Will. We're not making fun of him. We also don't know why he got knocked out. Maybe he said something. We don't know. We weren't laughing. First, I thought Will was watching the show on tape delay because he was talking about the Lakers, but he wanted to encompass everything.
I still am trying to figure out why I'm a Braun hater.
Yeah,
and then he immediately agreed with me and said I was right about Keegan, and so I'm confused. But I appreciate you, Will. Anytime,
that was something else. And Nate tried to, Nate will brief us on what the calls are going to be about, but no one could brief you enough for the wrath.
No,
of
Ken
Will.
caught me off guard too because he called in and wanted to talk about Malik or whatever, and then answers the phone and immediately goes in on you guys. And I'm like, I should have
something while he was on hold.
Yeah, I know.
That's what
you deduced it.
That is great stuff.
Yes.
You know what? This is the off season.
It's great.
This is the time.
It's so good.
This is the time. This is outstanding stuff. Thanks everyone. And call lines are still open. Who is going to beat Will for the call of the year?
Luck.
I can't wait. Maybe it'll be today. Maybe it'll be Will himself setting his own records. 916-339-1140. When we return, Howard Beck, an outstanding piece in the Ringer. Kings, like Maren Morris, stuck in the middle. How did they get out of it? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Oh, honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/build to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/build and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
No one's trying to beat Will, huh? 916-339-1140. All guessing callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Howard Beck wrote another outstanding article, Chris, on The Ringer about being stuck in the middle. And some of the excerpts here, and this one stuck out to me. The truth is, making the leap from bad to good in the NBA is, relatively speaking, the easy part. Even if the Kings stubbornly defied this adage for more than a decade. Hit one lottery pick like Fox and you gain hope. Hit a second lottery pick like Tyrese Halliburton, whom the Kings later traded for Sabonis, and you're on your way to respectability and win totals in the mid to high 40s. But making the leap from good to great, that's a much, much tougher task. And really, throughout it, he talks about things that we've done on this show, comparing the Kings to the Nuggets, right? And that blueprint and things like that. The Nuggets have also drafted well after the moves that they made. Yeah. And I think that can't be discussed enough. And teams that do sustain, they are able to do that. In part, to be completely honest with you, and this happens because it is literally called a lottery and it's random. The Warriors are ending their run because they didn't draft properly. If they hit, and I know James Wiseman, everybody would have picked him, but you take James Wiseman, you take Kuminga, who I defend against Chris Watkins here all the time, but you have James Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody, and we can pick other guys in that draft that the Warriors missed on, and that ultimately ended it. Yeah. Meanwhile, and they got a cheat code because they got Klay Thompson hurt, and while he was hurt, they got top picks. Yep. That's essentially where the Grizzlies are at. The Grizzlies didn't win any championships, but they've been in contention. So you can't mess stuff like that up. The Nuggets, they've made moves. They've made tough changes. Every time I see Gary Harris on the Magic, I think, did he just send him a ring? I feel like he needs one. Yeah. And after that,
sacrificial lamb.
There you go. And then after that, you go on to draft well, the Christian Browns of the world and guys like that. So you have to hit. And we're starting, Chris. I know that there's still a feeling that the Kings, what are they going to do with that pick? Maybe they draft after, or maybe they trade after they draft a guy, but they need to focus now on getting number 13 right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
even in a down draft year.
That's a double entendre too, because they need to get 13 right as in the pick. They need to get Keegan Murray right too, number 13 right as well, in order for this thing to truly take that other level. I mean, if the point of the article is how do the Kings get out of the middle, it's an easy answer. It's Keegan Murray jumping to another level of stardom here, or entering all-star conversations. And absolutely, if you knock out this number 13 pick, whether it be making the pick itself, and like you're saying, I think Jaime Jaquez was picked around number 13 in that late lottery. You see how he's impacting things in Miami. If you can get a guy like that at 13, that's an unexpected leap from this team. That's something that, frankly, I think this team really, really missed this year. We know how they brought in Chris Duarte. They brought in Sasha. They bring in JaVale McGee as well. That's all fine and great, but it felt like the Kings were missing that young addition. And Colby Jones, of course, was the Kings draft pick. He was a second-round pick. You don't expect a NBA ready now guy in the second round. Colby was probably about as ready-made as you get for a second round pick. And even then he couldn't contribute all too much. So the Kings have to get a major contributor. And when I say major, I mean just a guy who's going to end up being in the rotation more times than not. They've got to get something out of that pick, whether it be getting that from the number 13 pick, or like you said, making that pick and then trading it off for somebody who is actually a veteran who's ready to go right now. But in the couple of mock drafts I've seen, there's been some good names at 13. You got Jared McCain, who's a local, or has some local ties, is from Sacramento, went to Duke, had a fantastic freshman season. I've also seen Ron Holland, who's a G Leaguer, who me and Brendan actually got to see earlier this year, who's just an athletic freak. Like, he's a 6'6", 6'7" guy who's got crazy long wingspan, is an NBA defender right now, and kind of has those stereotypical, he's a good finisher, good athlete, can't really shoot, and how well he can shoot will end up determining his NBA prospects. But there's there's some good pieces at 13.
You know what I got here? This is from 1999 to now.
Oh,
I'm going to name off some of the 13th picks.
Oh, beautiful.
In the draft.
Let's do it.
Grady Dick went in 2023.
Okay. Legend.
Jalen Duren went
That's
in
a good 13.
Well, yeah, he went in 2022. Your boy, everyone's boy, Chris Duarte was number 13 in 2021. Some of the other names, Tyler Hero went 13 in 2019. Chris's favorite player of all time, Donovan Mitchell, went 13 in 2017. And here you go. Devin Booker was number 13 in 2015.
That's a lot of good 13s.
Zach LaVine went number 13 in 2014. Kelly Olynyk went.
These are rotational players.
In 2013. Markieff Morris in 2011. That's it gets
fine.
a little
That's
thin out
fine.
there.
No, that's
Richard
fine.
Jefferson,
That's
he
a good
played for
13.
years
That's a
in
great
2000,
13th pick.
2001. And one guy, you remember this guy? This might be before your time. Sebastian Telfair.
Oh, absolutely.
Went 13 in 2004.
Yeah, absolutely.
Through the fire.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes me feel even better about the number 13 pick. Those are all, I mean, there's some high-level players. I mean, even in my
Corey
guy,
Maggette
Donovan
played
Mitchell,
for a long time. That was 1999.
all those dudes, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker. Like, and what that tells me, too, is number 13, in a way, I've obviously been keeping a lot of tabs on this NFL draft. And in a weird way, like the number 3 pick in this year's NFL draft is the perfect one because you just end up taking who is still there. Like, you don't have to make the tough decision of, do I take Caleb? Do I take Jalen or Jaden Daniels? Do I take Drake May? Because those decisions will already be made for you. I think that 13 pick is a nice one because you end up getting, like all the guys who just have high ceiling. Once you get to 7, 8, 9, those are teams that are like, we're not good enough to like take a ready now guy. We kind of need to take a dude who just has a ton of potential and hope that it works out. So at 13, you end up kind of getting the best of the rest, the guys that have something there, but don't really have the big pop that makes them a top 10. You just kind of end up getting a lot of people that are overlooked. And I think a lot of those names are guys that coming out of college had a lot of skill sets to work with, but for whatever reason, they just never reached the top of the draft board. So I think 13 is actually a really, really good spot to land.
And I hate to say this, I really do, as a Zont King, and we are approaching short King summer, but I just don't think you can draft anybody under the height of 6'5".
Oh no!
They
need a
can't.
forward. They need a forward.
It had. Yeah. I'm thinking you got to be a 6'8", 6'9". I'll allow 6'6", 6'7", but you need that length. I'm looking around, Chris. Every time you turn on the TV during the NBA playoffs, you name it. The Pelicans got a bunch of guys.
Too many.
Give me a Trey Murphy. Okay,
please.
Give me a Herb Jones. Give me somebody like that. All these teams have guys like that, and the Kings just do not. Just a lengthy guy that's just there to D up, get boards, and make some shots when it's time to make some shots. I was looking, how big is Watson on the Nuggets?
Because Watson, I'm trying to think, because he's got some length to him. He's probably like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'7".
6'7". He's
Peyton Watson is 6'7".
Yeah, I was like, okay, because I think yes. So. Yeah, I mean, a guy like that, he's kind of more of a combo guard, but, definitely you need some guys who have some versatility to them. Yesterday, they were asking Kevin Huerter in his exit interview, like, are you ready to play the 3 next year in case, because of how much the Kings played 3-guard lineups? And I heard that, and I pretty much thought exactly what you just said. Like, can we please get some more height in here, please? Because if we're talking about Kevin Huerter playing significant minutes at the 3.
No.
I think that's a sign of not desperation, but probably a big need.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I mean,
that should not be.
Well, and the thing is, he's tall enough. I just don't think he's built for that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's not physical enough. I don't know if he's athletic enough to necessarily stay with a lot of those 3s. It's probably something you can get away with, but ultimately, I don't love Kevin Huerter at the 3.
When we return, continuing the conversation, Jordi Fernandez officially named Brooklyn Nets head coach. Chris gives his thoughts on what that means and who can fill that void. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Grab the keys to a new fuel-efficient Toyota. Take on this new season in California with incredible MPG and peace of mind. Toyota has more hybrids and plug-in hybrids than any other brand. So hit the road with fewer fill-ups and legendary dependability. Just announced, get 0% APR plus $2,500 bonus cash, or get the lowest lease payments of the year on the all-electric BZ4X. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium-rated credit ends 4/30/24.
Nothing tastes better than a craft beer on a beautiful afternoon. Sunrise Marketplace is transforming the Sunrise Mall parking lot into a backyard hangout on May 18th, featuring the best craft breweries, home brewers, cideries, meaderies, and distilleries, plus food trucks, backyard games, and one of the best events happening this year. Tickets are on sale now at shopsmp.com. Use discount code BREW24 for $5 off general admission. Every ticket helps support Citrus Heights Heart and Citrus Heights Rotary.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Tug Shed, New Dawn Treatment Centers, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
You know the saying, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And when it comes to air conditioning tune-ups and repairs, it's true.
Sure, I can tell you how great our techs are, how they're experienced, dedicated, and trained to do the job right the first time. Make no mistake, our techs are great. But the way you'll know they care is in the details.
They show it by arriving on time, in clean trucks, wearing clean uniforms. They're clean cut, friendly, and courteous. They communicate clearly and will give you a price up front, in writing, so there are no surprises.
You'll know they care because they will treat you like they care. And like I said, they're also really good at doing the job right the first time.
Call Bell Brothers today to schedule an $87 precision tune-up. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hey, UC Davis fans, Aggie football season tickets are available now. Whether you're coming out to see the dynamic, fast-paced offense under new head coach Tim Plow and All-American running back Land Larison, or bringing the kids out to roll down the grass hills and run on the field at halftimes more your speed, UC Davis Football Games has something for everyone. Secure your 6 Saturday games now with a season ticket package by calling the ticket office at 530-752-2471 or go online at ucdavisaggies.com/tickets. Go Ags!
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Well, you hope that Malik Monk returns, but we do know someone that won't be returning, and that's Jordi Fernandez, officially named Brooklyn Nets head coach. Fernandez joined the Kings in 2022 and quickly worked his way up to become an associate head coach. He anchored that defense that had really began to take a step forward towards the end of the season with the addition of Keon Ellis. And Chris, I'll throw it to you, who really saw everything unfold with Jordi and his path and his trajectory, and now just finally making it to the apex of the coaching world. If you are a basketball coach, head coach of an NBA team.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, how quickly things happened. I mean, I remember when Jordi was hired, he was the first person, if I'm not mistaken, hired from Mike Brown. And we knew the history that he had kind of, been Mike's, I wouldn't call him personal coach, but like Mike is, Mike Brown trusted Jordi to be his son Elijah's personal personal coach. And so you knew that Mike had a certain level of not only relationship, but just trust in a guy like Jordi, and Jordi pretty instantly became his associate head coach. He's replacing Jock Vaughn, who was fired in February from Brooklyn. And, their season has just been an absolute mess. I remember you asking, I think it was right before the Kings had made that road trip at the end of the year, just like, what is Brooklyn? Like, what is their goals? What are they trying to do? I still don't have a good answer to that. I don't think they really know. I mean, they just signed guys like Cam Johnson last year. They still have Dorian Finney-Smith. They still got Mikal Bridges. But at the same time, they're pumping out Cam Thomas, they're just okay, dropping 40 and losing games. So Jordi's walking into a pretty weird situation. He already hired an assistant, Steve Hetzel, who has spent his last 3 seasons in Portland with Chauncey Billups, also spent some time with Steve Clifford in Charlotte and Orlando. So it sounds like he's building out his team already. It's going to be interesting to see, and I think we talked about it last week, but does he bring anybody along with him? Like, I don't think Doug or anything like that is up for grabs, but Luke Laux is somebody who's been really close with the workings of Mike Brown. I wonder if there's some, I wouldn't say loyalty necessarily, but just how a guy like Luke Laux views his situation with Jordi obviously gone. It kind of opens up a really premier spot on the bench. And so you got to kind of calculate with what Jordi's probably offering you versus what you have to think your opportunity could be here. But it's awesome. I mean, Jordi is a fantastic guy, somebody who, when we talked to him at Summer League a couple years ago, when he led it, just was with a breath of fresh air. Like, oftentimes these guys have like an aura to them where, they're big time. They've been around the NBA for forever. And, all that stuff happens behind closed doors. And so there's a sense of, I have a wall up, especially when I'm talking to media. None of that with Jordi. Jordi is the most real person ever. There's a couple clips. I saw one circulating of him coaching Team Canada where, he's like, one time, all right, guys, whatever. It's cool. 2 times, I'm going to be upset. I yelled at you guys, told you to fix it. 3 times, what the F? Like, he is that kind of like real coach. He's not about big speeches. He's not about any of that. He's just about real emotion. You can go look at his post game after he got that win last year when Mike Brown got kicked out in Toronto. They showered Jordi with water as his first official win as a head coach, and just the emotion that he felt after that. He's a rah guy for sure. Not saying he doesn't know X's and O's, but he's the kind of guy that's going to get you motivated to go out there and play. And that's something De'Aaron talked a lot about yesterday in his exit interview when talking about Jordi. Just, he's somebody who motivated them, who he was this team's defensive coordinator when they were banging their heads against the wall in those mid to low 20s. Jordi just kept saying, guys, we got, believe me, trust me, we can be a top 15 defense if we just do these things. And eventually you saw it happen. So he's somebody who is always going to push for you to be great and to be successful. And who knows if it's going to work out in Brooklyn. There's so many outside things that you can't really control that go into coach success and failure. He might not even be given a fair shake, but at the very least, this is a great opportunity for Jordi, and he's still a really young guy. So even if this doesn't work out in Brooklyn, I'd assume they have a good idea of what the time frame they think this thing can get turned around. I would assume Jordi will definitely find himself on another bench if it doesn't work out in Brooklyn. So I'm just excited. I'm really excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see if he how much the Kings miss him and just how much importance Mike Brown put on his shoulders. So it's going to be really, really interesting just to kind of see how that situation ends up panning out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I don't know if a lot of people would say it hits as hard as, say, a football situation, because these guys could be calling plays and things like that, but they're definitely going to feel it. Let's hear from Keegan Murray, and somebody who, kind of came in, and Jordi had been there for a little bit, and then Keegan comes in. So let's hear from Keegan Murray and his bond with Jordi.
Yeah, Jordi, he was my summer league coach my rookie season. So I've kind of had a good bond with him from basically the start of when I got to Sacramento. And he's definitely a coach that I feel like has influenced me a lot, just from him talking to me, coaching me in summer league, and then being able to be with him the last 2 years. He's been a really good coach, and I feel like he'll be a really good head coach. I feel like I've seen him take that role before, and he's been successful at it when we've lost Mike a couple games and things like that. But, our coaching staff, I feel like, is done really well. Obviously, they're getting a lot of opportunities now elsewhere and coaching vacancies and things like that. But I feel like we've got a good staff here that's allowed us to be successful these last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think that's really it too. That's where this conversation goes next, is who steps up, because that is a really, really big gap. Defensive coordinator, I don't know, like you were saying, like I don't know football versus basketball. Obviously, football coordinators have a lot more say in like the structure of how everything gets done, and like you mentioned, the calling plays and all that stuff. I don't think the NBA defensive coordinators have that much of an impact, but for sure they're the ones who are implementing everything. I'm assuming doing all the back end research on if this is something that's working or what would work best for us. But ultimately, he is still one of the assistant coaches, is more how you should view him. You shouldn't tie in the Kings' defensive success with how good of a job Jordi does. But yeah, I think, Doug Christie is definitely a big option. He's obviously really, really big here in Sacramento, but that wouldn't be the only reason. Doug is somebody who is probably the best defender in the Sacramento. We shouldn't even Ron Artest at his whatever. Doug is one of the best defenders to ever wear a Kings jersey, and so it would make a lot of sense, especially for him to step into that role. Luke Laux I already spoke about, but there's a couple people. Lindsey Harding, as somebody who's gotten NBA coaching, head coaching interviews in Charlotte, and Charlotte's situation seems like it's going to take a while, but there's a lot of qualified candidates for the Kings to have replace Jordi Fernandez. And like Keegan said there, I think that's a really good sign that your staff is healthy. Like the fact that you have a ton of options that you feel good about, and you have multiple people that are being interviewed for other candidacies. To me, that's a really good sign that you have a strong bench. If people, the Kings didn't make the playoffs this year and people are still trying to take a piece of what they have, I think that's a really good sign that this organization's in a good place.
Is it too much of a stretch to bring that back to the idea of Mike Brown and the mutual opt-out and not getting the extension offer yet? Is it too much of a stretch to say, man, Vivek needs to see more from Mike, but clearly he's doing something right because his guys and women are getting poached based on the success that they've had? Is it too much of a stretch to say that?
I wouldn't think so. No, I think that's spot on, right? Like, if I'm doing such a bad job that I don't want to be back, why are people trying to take what we got? Because if what we were doing wasn't right, people wouldn't want a piece of it. They would say, look at those guys, they're going to crash and burn.
A mess.
They think they're on their way, but they're actually doing everything wrong. So that's a great point, and I'm sure it's something Mike Brown will throw right back in those negotiations, because again, there's no better sign that what you're doing is the right thing than other people looking at your situation and saying, we need that. We need to take a piece of that. And, it's not just Jordi. It's not just like they have one big name out. It's not the Ben Johnson of the Lions where, Jordi's the guy who gets all the credit for everything. You have Jay Triano, who's a dude who's been there, done that, has coached multiple teams, has coached Canada's national team, has tons of head coaching experience. Doug doesn't have a lot of coaching experience, but has a lot of experience around the NBA. Leandro Barbosa, somebody I didn't even mention, he's on this coaching staff as well. Of course, has tons of NBA knowledge. I think he had the longest career of anybody on that staff. So I think that they're more than capable of replacing that, and it would be interesting to see, how those negotiations with Mike and Vivek go, because I don't know how active those talks are. I mean, if you read Sam Amick's article, it's not active at all, but Mike Brown's definitely got a point there if he throws that back.
When we return, season superlatives, opening back up the phone lines, 916-339-1140. Favorite moments of the season, favorite heartbreaks or worst heartbreaks of the season. And at 1 o'clock, we switch to some Niners talk with Nate behind the glass. Nate and Chris have some things to say about what John Lynch had to say about star receiver Brandon Aiyuk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
At Fasteners Inc., we believe adding quality power tools to your lineup shouldn't break the bank. That's why we're hosting the biggest Milwaukee tool sale of the year in Sacramento. On top of insane deals on Milwaukee power tools, all Milwaukee pack-out storage boxes, hand tools, and tool accessories will be 25% off. So come on down on April 27th to the Milwaukee Tool Sanity Sale at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet on Power Inn Road in Sacramento. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T level is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They're in Midtown in the Cal Sutter Medical Building and also offer telemedicine appointments. Plus, with free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation today. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Spring savings continue at Folsom Lake Kia. Low payments, special offers, 0 down deals on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From the 831, Chris, Will has solidified himself as a legend. today. Yeah, that was pretty funny stuff. I'll probably listen to that back on the way home.
He just went to like 4 different places.
Yeah. Shout out to Will. Also from the 831, pick number 13 can potentially allow the team to add a solid piece off of the bench. This draft class isn't sexy from a starter standpoint, but there is definitely talent that can be added to our roster to help bolster the bench a bit.
Yeah, there always is. I mean, even in the hallowed 2013 NBA draft class, where everybody says was the worst of all time or worst in a very, very long time, where Anthony Bennett went 2 and Victor Oladipo went, Anthony Bennett went 1, Victor Oladipo went 2. Even Giannis went, I think, 14 in that draft. So even in drafts where everybody's like, oh, there's nothing here, there's usually something there. You just have to be the one to find it. And that's something, in a weird way, Monty McNair's actually been really good at finding guys later in the draft. Let's not forget Tyrese Halliburton was picked at 12 or something like that, right around 13. So, he's got a pretty good track record. And so far in the draft, he's done pretty well. He had pressure to take Jaden Ivey, stuck to his guns and took Keegan Murray. Davion Mitchell, I think, is a good pick. I don't think it's the absolute best pick you could have made, but I think you look at the other names around him and, all of the best names, I think you would have gotten really excited about. Guys like Franz Wagner and Jonathan Kuminga had already gone in front of him. So Monty's got a pretty good track record on these drafts. I would think he'll do pretty well with 13 if he's got a stick and pick.
Yeah, Giannis was actually 15.
Oh, there you go.
Because I just looked up
Even
the best. Because I'm thinking here, oh man, the history of the Kings, you're going to draft someone and then someone is going to ball out right behind you. But 14 does get a little dicey, Chris. I'm looking here just in the last couple of years. Again, it goes to 1999. The names that stick out, Aaron Nesmith. Okay, you have him. You have Michael Porter Jr. at 14.
Sure.
Bam Adebayo at 14. You also have Denzel Valentine at 14. Cam Payne at 14. The other Marcus Morris Sr. at 14. So, yeah, I mean, 13. The difference between 13 and 14 seems to be pretty big. I think the thing is, out of those names, I mean, Bam, out of those, the 13 and 14 in the last couple of years, Bam might be the best name.
Yeah.
But there's more value, or there's more talent that you've seen come out of, or production that you've seen come out of the 13th pick. So there you go. Michael Porter Jr. starting forward on a championship team. So yeah, you can focus in on trying to move it somehow, some way on draft night, or you can say, hey, let's go out and let's see if we can find somebody that can help the team. All right, season superlatives, 916-339-1140. Some of the highlights from this season: Malik Monk against the Utah Jazz to start the season off right. Malik Monk's game winner against the Warriors in the in-season tournament, and Keegan Murray's 47 points. Chime in if we are forgetting anything. Nate, let's get it started off with Malik Monk, the dunk in game 1 against the Utah Jazz.
As the clock winds down, let JaVale go one-on-one. De'Aaron Fox with the steal.
Sniper, the other way. Dive. Oh, he brought the house down. Look at this Jazz crowd. They don't believe it.
The pairing of
they did not believe it.
That's great.
He brought the house down. Look at this Jazz crowd. They don't believe it.
No, they didn't, Kyle.
I still don't believe it.
No,
they don't believe it.
They don't believe it, Mr. Draper. And that's great for promos, because they were NBC Sports was able to run that all season.
Game 1, yeah.
That was the promo.
It was bad for us because we were looking for a different promo for this show for a while.
We will still find it.
Yeah.
We will find the young Keegan at some point in time. Let's go to Malik Monk's game winner against the Golden State Warriors.
Kings have a chance to take the lead here. Wiggins with 5 fouls. Monk drives on him. Monk hangs, and he scores! What a basket! Malik Monk gives the Kings the lead. Points off the bench.
And this is great defense by Wiggins. You can't play this any better.
Wow.
Amazing.
That one's great too because Draymond just goes down on the other end and just turns it right over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was great stuff.
It had the weird court from
the in-season.
The in-season. Yeah. One of
Wasn't a
my
great shot, but it went in.
There were two bank shots.
I think that means it was a great shot.
There are a lot of bank shots between the Kings and the Warriors this season. A lot of random bank shots.
Would you say Derrick Rose's bank playoff win shot was a good shot?
The worst.
Yeah.
Sabonis, because the Kings almost got away with it in Chase Center because Sabonis had banked in that shot.
Right.
And that's when Clay came back and hit the game winner. A lot of banks, but it doesn't matter. In a rivalry game.
That's right.
By the way. Yeah. Or what are we missing here as far as the best moments? My favorite moment was probably when I was on the big screen when Malik Monk had the dunk against the Suns. It was a crazy dunk, and I got caught in 4K. Wow, it was a ridiculous dunk, and I got to see it from a nice spot. I was living good. I was sitting close to the court that game. That was the only game I got to sit there, but it was outstanding. That was probably my favorite, and my favorite game was that Warriors game because as we talked about yesterday, I don't recall the Kings coming back from a lot of deficits off the top of my head. That was one I thought the Kings were absolutely cooked in that game, and they came back and won the whole thing.
Yeah, we can throw in the other Warrior game,
and they got
too.
smacked to the Pelicans.
Yeah, we can throw in the play-in win. Definitely, I think can be some people's number one on the list.
I thought that was the play. Oh, the play-in win. That's right.
Play-in win.
That's right.
I know it's confusing.
I know
it's awful.
I'm gonna go with Keegan's 47. I do have a similar story to the one you just told. It was the only game this season that I got to watch as a spectator, and not any media hat was worn by me that day, and so it was just crazy to like be a part of the Murray side of it. You know, I've seen it from afar, the Keegan Murray, but to actually be a part of it on the 47-point game as he was just letting it fly the entire quarter or the entire game. I mean, it was ridiculous to watch. Like it really did feel like I was in a movie or I was watching a video game or I was in a dream that I was going to wake up from because it was just, I had never seen, you watch enough NBA basketball, you see random guys go off. Lonnie Walker has that crazy game in the playoffs last year where he kills the Warriors. It feels like it never happens for the Kings where a guy is just truly unconscious. And the only other time I could think of it was Omri Caspi was unconscious, but it was as he was going back and forth with Steph Curry and Steph bested him and the Warriors destroyed that game. Keegan had 47 in a game where I don't believe De'Aaron Fox played, and Keegan just put the team on his back completely. Yeah, De'Aaron did not play that day. Keegan, 12 of 15 from 3, 16 of 23 from the field, 8 rebounds, 47 points. He was a plus 33. I mean, it was incredible to be a part of, and it just felt fake. And in a way, it feels like its own separate entity from the entire season because we never saw it again. Like Keegan never really, he played a great play-in game against the Warriors, but ultimately we never saw that aggressive or that locked in of a Keegan ever again. Or that the rest.
Yeah, and I think the difference is Keegan's confidence of shooting because when he gets hot like that, they're not wide open. Was it against the Jazz?
Yes, it was against the Jazz.
Yeah, so
he was open that night.
But. Yes, because the Jazz aren't they're building. And Keegan, and that's what I want to see going into next season. And I've been saying this, I'm going to keep saying it. His ability to shoot contested jump shots, right? I mean, we know how the flow offense works, and you're gonna have opportunities, and it's gonna give you open shots. But Keegan said it was eye-opening how much he was not open this season. How do you react, right? There's the punch, and then there's the counter, and then there's the counter to the counter. And that's what Keegan has to work on this offseason, having a counter to the counter. There's no reason if Keegan gets in the corner, he can't give a pump fake and go baseline and have people collapse on him all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
No, absolutely. That should definitely be, I mean, just him putting the ball on the ground should be the objective of next season, is just trying to figure out how we can get this guy to create more, get him in pick and rolls, get him attacking the rim. How do you make Keegan Murray a more versatile weapon? How do you Swiss Army knife Keegan Murray offensively?
you have and I know you have certain feelings on this, but just the whole situation, the double-double record for Domantas Sabonis, you got to put that up there.
It's not really like the him getting the 80,
That's
whatever,
right.
the 70. I can't even tell you what team that was against. The entire spectacle of it, sure, but
yes,
moment specifically, like I can't remember. I mean, there was the moment where they put him back in to get the streak continued.
All right,
that would be something. That would probably be my most memorable moment.
There you go. Well, there is another one. I'm thinking of other players. De'Aaron Fox. Would you say?
De'Aaron's putback in that Warrior game was
well,
crazy.
Yes, that was insane.
Probably his best play.
Yeah, the problem is De'Aaron, he has to go Super Saiyan in games that the Kings ultimately don't end up winning because nobody else is doing anything.
Exactly,
which is why he ends up going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and like he didn't have game winners this year that I can think of. You know, again, I always talk about last year. You had so many game winners from him. You didn't have a Clipper game again where it's 150 to 100.
That Magic game was crazy, but that was Malik Monk.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That one at home where De'Aaron ended up getting hurt. That was a really great game. I think that ended up going to double overtime too. I would still probably put Keegan as my number one. There just hasn't been as many moments as there were last year. It feels like all of these moments, Keegan's 47 probably would have been in there, but I don't know if any of these other moments would have made it last year.
JaVale, when he hit that three?
No.
All right.
That was not my favorite.
When we returned, a little bit of Niner talk. John Lynch had some things to say about Brandon Aiyuk yesterday. What does Nate have to say about that, and Chris and myself and you, 916-339-1140, about their star receiver? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Everybody needs Good Feet.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Tug Shed, New Dawn Treatment Centers, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
The social media post, the Instagram Live or TikTok or whatever it was, the unfollowing, the refollowing, everything with Brandon Aiyuk, whether or not he will still be a San Francisco 49er when the season starts. The fake reports, people coming down our guys' roads, guys that we've had on the show, for just reacting to fake reports. Don't even react to it. Niner fans, they don't want to hear it. You're not moving off of Brandon Aiyuk. Well, the man who is in charge of it all, John Lynch, had some things to say yesterday, and this was pretty much it.
A couple of years ago, there was a lot of talk about another receiver, Debo, and I said the same thing. But with BA, BA, I've communicated on a couple occasions, on many occasions, our wish, and our wish is that he's here and a part of the Niners for the rest of his career. We're working through that, and as such, I was a player once, and I never liked my business being out in the public, and so I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to speak for their side. I can say we're having good talks, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll focus on the draft here today. But that's just want to understand you guys have a job to do and respect that, but that's kind of the tone I'm going to take there. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
When you guys communicated, did you use emojis or words?
There you go. The first question. We communicate well, and we love the guy. So thank you.
Has he been here for?
He's not. Yeah, he's not here right now. No.
But has he been here previously at all?
No. Yeah. Sure. We receive calls about a lot of players. Yeah.
Given permission to his side to go?
I'm not going to get in all those details. We're really focused on BA being part of us. He's under contract, and we're looking forward to that.
And Nick both said the years with their contract, things went into the summer or even later that impacted the way they played that season.
Yeah.
It negatively impacted the way they played that season.
Right.
Knowing that, does that, just in terms of the timeline of trying to get something done with BA, does that?
Yeah, I think that's important. I think there is, human nature is that deadlines force these things, but I think you can always learn from situations, and you'd be a fool not to. I'd like to have our business tidied up at a little, those things, they ran the course they needed to. And I'm proud of our record of getting the guys we want to get done. But I'm right there with everyone else. I'd sure like it to happen sooner. So
those guys said that, it kind of affected them going into the season, not having a normal routine and, that stuff lingering. Is that a concern for you guys if it does linger?
Well, both those guys had fantastic seasons, but and they're fantastic players. But of course, I just alluded to it. You always want to learn, and if we can get it done sooner, I'm always for that.
So he starts it off by saying, I'm not going to answer any question on Brandon Aiyuk.
And then
5
questions
dude.
later. Yeah.
Niners media is like relentless. Like
You
I've
have
talked
to
about
be.
it on this show before.
You
but,
have to be.
Dude, Mayoko just goes right in, and John Lynch just knows with him. Like, first of all, Mayoko is amazing. He's like the top Niners reporter. Like, I think everyone, that's kind of the consensus, right?
Yeah.
He just immediately knows where he's going, and he's like, can't let you. You're going to get something out of me. I know it.
Well, I think that was the probably the most important piece of this, because he did answer everything else besides when he was asked if they've allowed Brandon Aiyuk, because they did that with, if I'm not mistaken, was it DeForest Buckner?
Yes, I think so.
They
Find
said,
suitors.
hey, if you can find somebody.
Yeah.
When asked if they've allowed Brandon Aiyuk to find a trade partner, he said, I'm not going to get into all of that.
Sounds like a yes to me.
Chris, Nate,
Dude.
hey, I'm looking.
Looking.
I mean, can you not let it? Like, I don't know. What really bothered me at the end of that, I think John Lynch did a great job in that. Obviously, I'm a homer, so I'm going to think that. But at the end, when he said, me and you just both looked at each other, when he said that both those players had great seasons coming back from their contract disputes, by which he meant Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa. Deebo undoubtedly didn't.
No.
We played promos on this station
Right.
all year long that literally had Deebo saying,
Yep.
"No, it was terrible. I'm not going to put anything like that on tape again."
Yep.
That was a pretty
Quote.
iconic
Quote,
quote
unquote.
from Deebo.
Yes.
I mean, he was right, but that season where it was the 22 season, because 21 was that Deebo year. It was bad. It was bad the whole time. He was injured too, and it was the contract. It was the contract dispute. It was getting to camp late, and then look at Bosa last year.
Yep.
Another slow start from him. He had a slow start his rookie year too. He obviously had the ACL year where he missed. He was looking okay that year, but it undoubtedly is a major issue in the NFL when they're not at camp, when they're not training with their players. It is not the same thing. It is not the same. It's so important for these guys to have those camps, and they did not have good season. Last year was okay for Bosa because of what he did in the back half, but that first half, just the first 8 weeks were just rough for him.
Yeah.
He had an okay season. I definitely wouldn't say fantastic. Okay by Bosa's standard, and then Deebo's was bad for his standard.
Yeah, I mean, I think all that's definitely true, and it's can you afford to have Brandon Aiyuk have that kind of season, especially after we talk a lot about the windows and what the 49ers window is. Trent Williams, I don't know how many more years he's got after this one. I'd be shocked if there is any more after this one. Like,
I think you're counting snaps with Trent at this point. I don't think
Sure.
it's years. I think
Right.
it's like literally snaps.
Absolutely. Yeah. And all of that plays into there's not a lot of time. There is not a lot of time to waste with this current crop of guys. And, I don't think you can afford to have this lingering into the season for those reasons. Like you have to be all in on this season. We know Brock's contract situation is what it is for only a couple more years. I'm not saying they've got to trade Deebo on Thursday or trade Aiyuk on Thursday, but it feels like they need to figure this out before the regular season starts, because I just don't think they can afford to play with time like that anymore.
All I'm seeing too is articles about great draft day trade ideas, and it's just Brandon Ayuk's picture over and over. Like I've seen in the past couple months, those are all the articles I'm seeing. So I think the consensus is a deal gets done, but the Niners are notoriously sneaky about their front office. And I mean, you look at the Mac Jones year, the Trey Lance year, where everyone thought Mac Jones was going to the Niners, consistent lies. Deebo never, you know what? You never know it's true with these guys. So it's a really just wait and see. I don't know how much you can go by the writing on the walls.
I would think if you're a Niner fan too, you would be rooting on Thursday for the draft as many quarterbacks up top as possible. I would guess you'd want as many of those receivers, the top 3 receivers, to fall as far as possible, so nobody feels like they're left at the table without a guy, right? Like, because that's the fear, is that Neighbors and Dunze and of course Marvin Harrison are going to go. If they go before 12, 15, a team who might have been planning to take one of those receivers or take a 4th receiver even might look around and say, maybe we do look to ship off this first round pick for Aiyuk. Like, what would it, depending on the team, depending on the situation, I would think that if you're a Niner fan, you would want as many of those quarterbacks to go early as possible and try and shove down those receivers. Because if the Cardinals end up sticking and picking Harrison at 4, and then if all of those 3 top receivers go in the top 10, I think that's a really clear path for a team that has a need at receiver to go and make that Aiyuk deal happen.
How much is put on the proven product? And I know we talked to a lot of receivers while we were in Vegas, the proven product of a receiver versus, I guess, the projection of a receiver. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you are one of these teams looking for a wide receiver, is Aiyuk valued higher than Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is he valued higher than Rome Odunze? Is he valued higher than Malik Neighbors because he's been in the league and produced, or
contract, the money?
Yeah. And people are so excited about the unknown. I remember, it's funny you brought up Vegas. I just remember Torrey Smith specifically talking about the money and how important that was, obviously, as a player, and how he wishes he played now instead. It's crazy, the inflation with receivers, not just receivers, but it's getting close to, maybe not getting close, but trending towards running back territory in the way that they're valued. They can just move. Like, look at your guy, Stephon Diggs, Chris. It's like, we'll just, the first time Buffalo was like, we'll take him. We'll take this proven guy. I don't know. And it came back to kind of bite him in the butt. Like, they could have taken Justin Jefferson, right? They could have made that move, but they wanted to go with the proven guy, and that didn't work. And that might be the kind of framework of how the NFL is going to operate, the trend of how they're going to operate going forward.
But I don't know if getting Stephon Diggs is where they went wrong. I think paying Stephon Diggs is where they went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But those go hand in hand, right? Like you said, the contract is what people are worried about, and the money.
Yeah.
So, and then especially with the Niners, where they're paying so many guys in so many spots, and there's just more to come. There's more guys they're gonna have to pay, and the biggest one hasn't even been paid yet. They can't even talk to him about it. Yeah. Mr. Jacked himself, Mr. Toyota.
He does look shredded.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the pictures of Brock Purdy throwing, you see his scar.
The amount of
looking like a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Dude, that never matters, man. Every offseason, every player has those posts. Am I right? Like,
not like that.
Not like that. You're right.
Not like that.
The amount of Niner accounts that I saw repost that picture and say some version of league's in trouble, or, don't let Brock get some whatever. Like, it was insane the amount of grown adults I saw drooling over Brock Purdy having a good-looking forearm.
Yeah.
Insane.
His forearms have forearms.
I like that Allen's pro Brock now. He's flip-flopped on him. Coming off of surgery, he's jacked. He's
He's
not a super tall guy. He's Allen's guy.
He's a chip on his shoulder type of guy.
If he gets like 10% better, Brock Purdy, I think the league's in trouble.
Notice.
I'm serious.
I mean, we're talking. What are we talking here?
We're talking Jawan Jennings, 15 touchdowns.
Jawan Jennings. You were able to hold on to him,
man.
I
now
think
you got the jacked Brock Purdy throwing him the football.
I'm even if Aiyuk goes, I don't know if the Niners will even take a receiver in the draft.
Okay,
that's where did you think I was going?
I thought you were going to say I don't know how much they'd miss him.
Oh no. I don't know if they'll take a receiver just because of where they're at and where they've drafted in the past few years. They took Ronnie Bell last year, who was more of a special teams guy.
That one big game.
2 touchdowns.
Against the Giants, right?
He had a fumble.
That was when Aiyuk didn't play.
It was. Yes,
Aiyuk didn't play that game.
Yes. I can't remember back that far. And then Danny Gray, who injured last year, but I don't care what anyone says. He was in the doghouse last year. I don't care if 5 years down the line, Shanahan does what he did with Aiyuk and was like, he was never in the doghouse. It didn't matter. That's just a lie. It's another misconception.
But is he in the doghouse because he's not good?
I don't think he's blocking. I think that's
no
the
block,
problem.
no rock.
And
Everybody knows that.
That's how, and we've had this conversation several times too. Aiyuk's value for the Niners is arguably higher than it would be with any other team because of his blocking.
I think you can find guys to block personally. I'd rather talk. I think his value is as a receiver.
Yes, but I'm saying his receiving skills that go with his blocking skills. It's almost like tight end-esque.
But here's my problem with the Niners, and we got a text here. I hope the Niners keep BA, but if a trade makes more sense, I would like to see some type of deal revolved around Patrick Surtain. Bolster up that defense and let Kyle do what he does with whatever roster he has on offense. That's from the 831. I don't disagree with that, but here's my problem with the Niners. They continue to draft these guys that we can't lose him. He's so good to this scheme. How many scheme guys do the Niners need? Oh, you can't lose Aiyuk because of the blocking. You can't lose Kittle because of the blocking. You can't lose Juszczyk because of the blocking.
Yeah.
It's just enough.
Well, and then you see injuries happen and the team falls apart. So
maybe there's a problem
I feel
with
like
the
it
system.
validates okay, all right. But those guys are important to the system, and that I feel like that kind of invalidates the whole argument, right?
Work on the system. All right. When we return, someone who is burned the Kings could be wearing the purple next season. We'll discuss who it is. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Knicks, 339-1140.
As we proceed to talk off-season targets, there is a target that may be available. And it's not the target that you'd expect when talking about the New Orleans Pelicans. Zach Lowe, Chris, and I'll throw to you, Zach Lowe, has some things to say about a certain Pelican that may be available. And we've talked about this Pelicans team and how they're a little bit confusing. They play tonight, I believe. Pelicans trying to split out in OKC.
No, they don't play.
Okay, they don't play. So they don't play again until tomorrow. They have to play tomorrow. So they play tomorrow, and there is a name that has come out. And Chris, I will throw to you.
And I will throw to Zach Lowe, who will tell us exactly why we think that there is a Pelican available. Here's Zach Lowe on his most recent podcast talking about how good the Pelicans looked on Sunday and why that might be an interesting note for teams like the Kings.
Trey Murphy III, like he
I don't know what the solution is next season as you project ahead, but like he just has to be in the starting lineup.
KP, I've been saying this since he came back from injury, and even before that, he's going to have to start. You're going to have to figure it out. Like, I don't know who gets traded, who comes off the bench, whatever happens. Like, there's just no world in which Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are not starting on the wing next year. Zero. They both have to start.
If we're ranking their players, Trey Murphy the third is no lower than third, and he's in the top three, and he might not be third. I guess let's put it that way.
Woo! KP bringing a little anti-Brandon Ingram spice right now.
It was quietly a little spicy, but he made so many winning plays in this game, and unfortunately wasn't rewarded with the win ultimately.
Also made baskets, which are winning plays.
Those are winning plays. Those are a little more obvious.
I found
Take some Tylenol, Zach Lowe.
This is just how he sounds.
Get some emergency.
So I mean, in that you essentially hear him and Kevin Pelton talking about the prospect of next season. And we talked about it too. It'd be really hard to keep Trey Murphy on that bench. He's a 16 point per game scorer when he starts. And I think that's in just under 30 starts this season. So it's not a small sample size. And we saw it. I mean, we've seen him be able to pull. He's a dude who can shoot from the parking lot. He's also got a crazy vertical as well. So he's very multifaceted. And, if you're out there doing the math, you're saying, hold on, wait. He said Herb Jones has to start. He said Trey Murphy absolutely has to start. Okay, they need a center out there, Valanciunas. They have CJ McCollum. That leaves one starting spot for one of Brandon Ingram or Zion Williamson. And when you think about that Pelicans team, like they did kind of, I don't want to say luck into Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram was not drafted by the Pelicans. There is no attachment really to Brandon Ingram and his progression. Right. He's been great there for New Orleans, but it's been in a lot of up and down years where Zion's been out and BI had to step up and be the number one guy. What I'm essentially pointing at here is one of those two more than likely has to go, and I don't think it's going to be. Zion Williamson. I think Brandon Ingram might be a sneaky available guy here, and if we're talking about guys who have length, who have shot creating ability, who have a potential another level to go to, and might not ask or demand the price of those Paul George, even like Lauri Markkanen. Brandon Ingram, I don't know what his value is across the league. I know he's well regarded, but I don't know in terms of trade value that he would cost you the Kings ransom, no pun intended. Like, I don't know if you would have to throw the kitchen sink to go get a guy like Brandon Ingram. And to me, offensively, he makes a ton of sense for Sacramento, who's just looking for another guy.
But what is that going to cost you, and what would the Pelicans want?
Well, that's what my question was. I don't know what his value is. I don't know obviously they'd want picks. That 13th pick would probably go a decent way. Maybe they want some more veterans. We can give them old reliable Harrison Barnes and if they want a guy like Kevin Huerter, or if they want, Keon Ellis is somebody who's on an incredible contract right now and probably is going to outvalue that contract. You could probably do yourselves a lot of favor by throwing Keon in there as a trade sweetener. There's the Keegan Murray conversation. I don't think that would make sense if you're looking to ship off for BI, but there's options for sure.
I don't think they would need Keegan. The issue would
probably not. No,
is wings. So you don't want another wing.
They probably want a guard. We can throw Davion Mitchell. Even Davion's a guy who hasn't really 100% found.
What about Huerter?
Huerter.
Davion, Huerter.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know that they would want HB, but if they did, here you go.
Yeah.
Davion, Huerter, HB for Brandon Ingram.
Sure. I mean, it gets a conversation started.
I would like to keep Keon.
Sure. I mean, that's, but you can't play that game. You can't play the game where
I can play the game. Don't make me bust out the trade generator. I haven't done that in months.
Please don't. I think it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to be the easiest thing. I'm not saying you're not going to have other suitors out there, but if we're talking about guys that could potentially come in and change things here, I think Brandon Ingram's somebody whose name hasn't really been thrown out there. And if you look at that New Orleans situation, they do have a lot of cooks in the kitchen. It's a nice thing to have now, but it does become a problem in the offseason when you've got guys who look around and say, like Trey Murphy, I feel like I want a bigger role. I was drafted here. You guys have built me up to do this, and now I feel like I'm ready. Where's my opportunity? Like you can't have, it's part of the bad of having a ton of talent is you've got to give that talent opportunity.
De'Aaron Fox in a perfect world, right? And we're going to do this without 8,000 players over the summer. But you bringing up Brandon Ingram,
who makes $33 million this year, 36 next year, and then is out of his contract. So the Kings it's essentially a 1-year expiring contract that they're trading for.
De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Brandon Ingram, and Sabonis. That's your starting five.
Yep. It's a pretty good starting five.
You're cooking.
It's a pretty good starting
You're
five.
Cooking.
Then, the bench.
The bench,
as we just talked about,
we're not going to talk about the bench right now.
Yeah,
But that starting five is cooking.
It's a start. It's definitely a really, really good start. And then you still have Trey Lyles. You still have Keon. You still have, Chris Duarte still under contract. You still have Sasha
in his second year.
You still, depending on what picks you have to give up, that
you got
that
Alex Len, hopefully.
Things.
Can Sasha go back home? Like if he chooses?
Why would you ask that?
No, like if he wants to go back and play in the Euro League.
I did see an article on that.
He said yesterday in the exit interviews he's not going anywhere.
Dang, yeah, I would love to get paid to sit on the bench too.
Nate, you just got
Nate.
got
what is your
daggers
deal
to
today?
Throw at Kings bench
Yeah, what is your deal today?
Who else did I get? Oh,
Mason.
And Mason,
not today.
Hey, second team All G League.
That's right.
Mason Jones.
Put some respect on his name.
Okay.
But Chris, that is good stuff right there. You heard it here first. From the 831, I would take Ingram any day on the Kings. He doesn't shy away from the big moments. That's what we need. He is a dog. When we return, NBA Players Survey, some interesting notes here that we will break down. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey there, wanted to take a moment of your time so I could talk to you about insecurity. I could talk to you about confidence. I could talk to you about girth. Yeah, what? Girth? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you about the Upsize Clinic at UpsizeMatters.com. My good friend, Dr. Jack, and his friend, Dr. Pash in San Francisco have a safe, effective, long-lasting doctor-performed procedure. It's non-surgical, virtually pain-free. Now listen, girth is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. What Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash are offering is a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation and get that confidence back. Reset in the bedroom with your partner. Financing is available. It's very private. It's very discreet. Available in Roseville with Dr. Jack and San Francisco with Dr. Pash at UpsizeMatters.com. That's UpsizeMatters.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I'm surprised at how many players wait too long to have their golf clubs regripped. I'll pick up my playing partner's clubs when they're left near the green, and that's when I notice that some of the problems in their games could be attributed to worn golf grips. If yours are shiny or worn when you play, you're probably gripping the club too strongly for fear of losing it during a swing. The golf grip is your connection to the club, and fresh grips let you hold the club lightly, promoting proper swing mechanics and swing action. Many of us simply replace the grips with the same product that was on the club, but with so many different types of materials, colors, tackiness, softness, and more, you'll find plenty of sizes and colors to fit your game and your personality. Your local pro shop or club fitter can re-grip your clubs, or you can purchase a kit and do it yourself. Either way, re-gripping once a year is an inexpensive and fast way to bring a noticeable change to your game and to give your clubs that new club feel. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by Tug Shed, new dog treatment centers, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
All right. You heard about it. If you were listening to the morning show, Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross, The Athletic put out their yearly NBA player survey. 142 players participated. They talked about most overrated player, most underrated player, favorite arena, coach you like to play for, and who they think is going to win a title this season. So, Chris, how we want to do this is some of the stuff we'll just read off, but Nate is going to read off some of the questions and we will answer them ourselves.
Yes, or I thought it might be fun if we try and guess what the players answered themselves. Because, it is a poll, so there is first, second, and third place finishers in most of these things. And I thought it might be fun if we can try and guess how the players see things.
Okay.
So, I sent Nate over the link, and Nate, go ahead. Give us some of these questions that were asked of NBA players.
Well, the first one that popped up that I'm curious.
Sure. Anything that catches your eye, Nate.
Yes. Who's the best defender? This is just to be clear, 132 votes cast, so it's not a giant pool, but it's obviously
enough
guys you would consider to be the smartest of the smartest when it comes to ball, right? Like the Athletics pretty.
Yeah.
I mean,
some stuff with like Malik was getting silly, with the voting, but that I just want to throw that out there.
Sure.
Yeah, but no, I mean, there's 130. I think they polled 142. Not all 142 answered on every question, but there's 13 players on every team, so it's a lot of the league.
It's well represented.
Yeah. So best defender stuck out to me.
Yeah. First off, my guess I would say Rudy Gobert, but I do think this is where the player aspect comes into play. I don't think players like Rudy Gobert, and so I don't think they're going to vote Rudy Gobert. The question is, do they say Wemby? Or do they go with like a guy like Marcus Smart or Kawhi or something? I'll say the players picked. I'll say they picked Wemby.
Okay.
I'll say they picked Wemby.
Okay. I don't think they picked Draymond.
Oh, I didn't even think about Draymond.
I don't think they picked Draymond.
I'll say Draymond's on here, but it's looking like top 10 Draymond's there, but definitely not one.
I'm going to go outside the box here.
Okay.
I'm going to go Herb Jones.
Not a bad guess.
That's a good one.
But Chris is right, which shocked me a little bit.
What?
15% of the votes.
They picked Wemby?
Yes, Wemby.
Wow.
Drew Holiday, Lou Dort, then Herb Jones.
Wait, where is Gobert?
Gobert is two more away. Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert. So pretty far down, and then Draymond's 3 later. No Kawhi, and who else did you mention?
No, I can't remember.
Not Jonathan Isaac, but he's on here. He's
Gotcha.
deep down there. So Jaylen Brown makes an appearance. OG makes an appearance, but something.
No Kings. Keon Ellis will be on it next
Keon,
year.
next
He'll be
year,
on it
yeah.
next year.
Yeah. Who's the league's most overrated player?
Oh my God! Who?
Now this correlates with the last one in a way.
Then Gobert.
Oh yeah, right.
Then it's Gobert.
You are right. I shouldn't have given you that hint, but I just thought it was really funny.
Wow.
So
They cannot
Crazy.
stand
Is
Gobert.
Draymond on there?
I don't see him, but you know who is on there.
Steph?
No, take a real guess. Take a real guess. Think about a guy who gets a lot of hate who maybe doesn't deserve it.
LeBron.
Nope.
No, I guess this is players. A lot of hate, but doesn't.
He's sitting right behind Allen.
Oh, Domantas Sabonis is on that list.
It looks like he's. I don't know if this is. Looks like he's like 11th.
Uh-huh.
There's
What
no
percent?
like actual.
What percent?
2.5%. So tied with Pat Bev, AD, and Jason Tatum. I said JT.
Overrated.
Yeah, but the number 2 most overrated player also sticks out. I thought it might have died down a little bit, but Jordan Poole.
Leave Jordan Poole alone, man.
And then Trey Young, which I think Trey Young gets too much hate. I think he gets too much hate. In my
Wow,
opinion.
the players saying that. That's kind of crazy.
That
And
is crazy.
there's real proof that they hate Rudy Gobert. I don't know what it is, but they hate Rudy Gobert. I
Yeah.
can think of a couple things.
Wow. Next one, underrated player. If you go overrated, you got to go underrated. Any guess here? It's a tie for one, but I don't know if you guys.
Who would be underrated? Is this a star?
No.
Okay.
Neither.
Okay.
No.
Alex Caruso?
No.
Yeah,
It's not a star. I mean, this could be anybody.
Is it Jamal Murray?
Caruso's not on here. Jamal Murray, no, but he is on here. He's tied. I'll say he's tied with Kyrie and Nasri.
Interesting. Underrated. Who is the most underrated player in the NBA according to players? I don't know. Who's your favorite?
De'Aaron should be on there
De'Aaron
somewhere.
could be on there.
De'Aaron's on there.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Good for
he's
him.
5th. Sorry, there's no numbers next to the name, so I'm trying to do quick math.
Just give
here.
us Western or Eastern.
Well, let me just tell you.
Yeah, just go
because
ahead.
it's a tie. You got Derek White and Jalen Williams, both at 10%, hair over 10%.
Huh.
Then you go to
Jalen Williams.
Yeah,
he just started this
He
year.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Number
That's
4
great
is
point.
what gets me. You got Drew Holiday at 3.
Okay.
Number 4 is Shea. SGA.
What is
and
this?
that's crazy because
God. And this was taken at the end of the year.
Yes.
Right. Sam said that they had to get they got some of the votes late. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
To have Shea and Jalen, they're the 1 seed. What a
Yeah, I don't know.
Get out of here.
But Fox was there. That's nice.
Yeah, good to see Fox represented at least.
Sabonis nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, well,
this one's funny, and we had this conversation, I believe, last week. Who in the league would you least like to fight?
Oh man.
Besides, I mean, Jokic's brother doesn't count.
Yeah.
Is would like Boban or something? Jokic be on that
Boban's
list?
on there.
Okay.
Jokic
Giannis?
is not
Giannis
on there. Giannis is
wouldn't
tied
mess-
with Boban.
I wouldn't mess with JaVale.
Not on the list. This is a shorter list. I mean, we said the guy last week.
Is it James
Zion?
Johnson?
Yeah, James Johnson. Yeah, overwhelmingly 53%.
Yeah.
And then Steven Adams.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm
beef
not
stew.
fighting Steven Adams.
Beef stew.
Oh yeah, you don't want
Joel, but he takes a wrong step, and
Joel,
you got the win.
Yeah.
Right? You just tag him out. Draymond was tied with Joel.
Oh.
Would you guys like to do the greatest player of all time?
Well, I saw this.
There's only 5.
One.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and
this is insane.
Yeah, so one went viral.
Yeah,
I'll just
this
take
is
it.
ridiculous.
One went viral because there was a vote cast for one Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm. He's tied
for the greatest of all time.
All time.
Is that Paul Pierce?
Everybody was confused when that happened, including Paul Pierce.
Was it Draymond who voted that? I'm trying to think like who would have, because that's clearly a troll vote.
I don't know.
Who is
the truth? The truth. He was popping, man.
There's 10 players in the
If
NBA
somebody
right
thinks
now.
that Paul George is the best player of all time,
Brandon Miller.
Someone can think that Paul Pierce is the best player of all time.
That's just Paul love. That's all that is.
I don't understand how you could say that. That is insane.
Or you're right, it's a troll job.
It's definitely a troll job.
It's got to
right?
be a troll. It's got to be like a Celtic or something. There's
Kevin
no
McHale, maybe. He's voting.
These are current players. These are current players that voted this.
Wow,
no, that's insane.
All right, do you want to get? Let's knock these greatest of all time out. Would you like to guess?
I mean, it's LeBron and MJ.
But who's won?
It's MJ.
Chris?
Yeah, I'd probably say MJ still.
MJ at 46, LeBron at 42.
Wow.
Then Kobe at 9.8, and then tied for that third or fourth is Curry, Magic Johnson, and Paul Pierce. So that
wow,
that just
that's
doesn't
something.
make sense.
That is something for sure.
Favorite arena to play in?
Oh, we already know it's Golden One Center. Got to be
Locked in.
Everybody
Favorite
loves
arena.
the play.
Golden One Center's higher than I thought.
Oh, it's on the list.
It's higher than I
Oh, I
thought.
love that.
Favorite arena to play in.
It's 7th, and it's tied with Chicago, Miami, and Utah.
Wow,
Is it Madison Square
Gotta be the
Garden?
Garden, right?
Yes, it is. And then TD Garden is too.
Oh.
But Madison Square doubles that. And then it's Crypto Arena. So
Oh, get out of here.
what do we know the name of what the Clippers?
It's the Intuit Dome.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Least favorite arena.
Probably Boston.
Or
That'd be
Utah.
my guess. Oh, Utah, yeah. Neither of those?
Neither. Sorry.
Wow. Least favorite arena.
Denver because of the altitude.
There you go. Now you're thinking.
Good guess, but wrong.
Really?
But, it's not even top. It's 7th.
Would it maybe
Smoothie King.
Yeah, like are they looking for vibe?
Think of
lists?
like rough cities.
Detroit.
Yes, Detroit. Detroit. Like
sad that's
yeah.
the first place all over.
and then
mine.
Charlotte, Memphis. So not.
Oh,
not
okay, so those are also bad teams.
Yeah.
So that, I
Right.
guess makes sense. It's just a bad environment to go to.
Right.
Because I don't think anybody really. I mean, I don't know. I know that Pistons arena is new. I can't imagine there's like rats and stuff rolling around there. But interesting.
Mike Brown does make this list, but it's not, not top tier.
Mm-hmm.
Which current coach, aside from your own, would you like to play for most?
Eric Spoelstra is number 1.
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr's 3rd.
Okay.
Pop is 2nd.
Oh.
Spo is 1.
Ah, there you go.
And then you have Mike Brown down the line a little bit, tied with Will Hardy, Jason Kidd,
Whoa.
Joe Mazzulla, and Tibbs
I was told Mike
and
Brown's not a good coach.
Ime.
That's right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I saw it was
him
from a
and
Lake. It was from a Lakers person, so I don't know if it was true or not. But they said that Darvin Ham didn't get 1 vote.
I don't see him on here, but I don't, I saw a picture today.
Is there an inverse of that question? Do they have
yes,
the opposite?
I'm going right now.
Oh, okay. So
and it's a wide. It's
right.
between 1 and 2 is huge, and it's very funny.
Is Darvin Ham on?
Yes, he is, but only 77 votes cast, so that's
okay.
Less than half.
Yeah.
Of people voted for this one. I well, I don't know why, but which current coach, aside from your own, would you least like to play for? A whopping 46%. 47.
It can't be
almost.
Darvin Ham because we would have saw that.
Right.
It's not Darvin Ham. It is a big market.
Is it Thibodeau?
Oh yeah.
You guys think Thibodeau? You guys are right.
Nobody wants to play 48 minutes.
Well, it's funny you do that, boys, because Doc Rivers is 2 at 9%, which is hilarious. And then Monty Williams, which people don't like. Nick Nurse and Popovich are tied. Darvin Ham, Nick Nurse, and Greg Popovich are tied.
That is quite the group.
Wow.
Yes.
Something's not like the other there.
The Kings did make this list as well.
Really? Mike Brown made that?
No, this next list.
Oh,
excuse me. And we probably got 1 or 2 more, unless you want to do some more with the Drive guys. But which team, other than your own, will win the title this season?
It's a weird question.
It is weird. I would guess that most people would pick
Nuggets
or Celtics.
1 and 2 are a large
Nuggets and
margin.
Celtics.
Yeah,
Wait, you said
exactly.
the Kings made that list?
They
though?
did, 0.8%.
What?
They're tied with the Mavs and the Lakers.
So one person outside of the Kings voted for them to win a championship.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the most random
Yeah, we gotta
team
figure that
besides
out.
the Kings?
Minnesota maybe before the season, but it's pretty.
So the Kings is
in
probably
hindsight,
the most random team.
It's pretty accurate. I'd say
Yeah.
outside
Wow.
of the Kings, Lakers got 1 vote, Dallas got 1 vote, and it looks like Minnesota got 2, Bucks got 2, OKC maybe. I guess that's
Sure.
I don't know.
Shout out the Kings for being in that conversation for one player.
This will be our last one for this segment. What letter grade do you give the referees this season?
Oh, it's got to be a D or an F.
C.
I would say a D.
Alan's on the nose today.
Ooh,
C, 47%. A is the lowest at 3%. This got 132 votes. And then B, 27%. C, 48%. D, 13. F, 8%. So A got the lowest. People were not happy with the refs this year.
Didn't seem like it. All right. Crosstalk. When we get back, Drive Guys, Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system? You were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They're in Midtown in the Cal Sutter Medical Building and also offer telemedicine appointments. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-365-4566. That's 916-365-4566 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Jiffy Lube has a special promotion going on right now. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube and receive a $25 e-gift card from popular brands for food, gas, and more. It's that easy. Simply purchase a Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change and receive a $25 e-gift card. So basically, going to Jiffy Lube can get you a free lunch or a pizza for dinner. That's what we call added value for the consumer. That's why Jiffy Lube is #1 in the greater Sacramento area for oil changes. Visit JiffyLube.com for more details and valuable coupons today.
Spring savings continue at Folsom Lake Kia. Low payments, special offers, 0 down deals on approval of credit. Shop your trusted Kia dealership for over 25 years and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Joined by the one, the only Whitey Gleason. Chris, this is from the 209.
Don't bother Chris. He's busy. He's practicing.
Yeah, he's practicing putting. Sam was on the morning show and said that they got rid of troll answers. I did hear some of the Sam interview, but I was driving in and then obviously I pulled up. But
how does one determine if it's a troll?
Don't ask me, Chris.
I wasn't asking. I wasn't asking you. I was not. I was actually asking the texter.
But apparently that's what Sam said. So someone does believe that Paul Pierce is the greatest of all time.
Or the Kings will win a championship.
I
don't really know how you could suss that out.
Whitey, please tell Chris here, who's, a little bit younger here. Paul Pierce, the truth. There's somebody that might think Paul Pierce is the greatest of all time.
No. First of all, I would never presume to tell Chris anything about basketball unless it was something like from the, 50s that I read once. Chris knows plenty about basketball, but no, Alan, no, come on. That's not even.
Paul Pierce.
He was my favorite player.
You seem very passionate about the case.
But the thing, here is
no logical reasoning.
But no. It's the same as the Paul George thing.
Yeah, which was crazy.
These guys aren't operating on best of all time. I think they're confusing, or not confusing, just stating their favorite player.
But that wasn't the question. The question was, who is the greatest basketball player
But
of
even
all
when
time?
Brandon Miller did it, I think what he actually meant was Paul George is his favorite player. I don't think he thinks Paul George is the best player of all time. I think that's his favorite player. That's what
we're
I
making
think.
Assumptions.
Because
all I can
can't
go off of was what the question was and how the question was answered. You can make your assumptions off of what was implied and what was whatever.
But if someone, hey, he's the best of all time, it's just it just sounds like when you're in grade school a little bit. No, he's the best because he's your favorite.
Sure.
Chris
These
has a
guys
good
are
answer. Chris's favorite player would be actually be a lot better answer than Paul Pierce.
It would actually make sense for a greatest player of all time, Tim Duncan.
Sure.
Tim Duncan's not the greatest player of all time,
He's
but
not.
that's
I
not
would never
that's a
say
much
it.
better answer than Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I'm saying. All right.
That's what you're saying now?
No, but I'm saying that's what they're doing. That's what I think is going on here. Or someone actually thinks Paul Pierce.
Put your name on it.
Who's your all-time favorite basketball player?
Best?
Yeah. Well,
Or
your favorite.
My all-time favorite, I don't know if I've ever been asked that. My all-time favorite basketball
1, Steph
player.
Curry. 2, Klay Thompson.
Ooh.
Allen Iverson.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
2 Allens, 2 greats.
Yeah. I mean, he
great
made being
Allens,
Allen cool.
Right.
I actually changed my name to Allen.
Right.
It was Bert when I was born, and we changed it to
Bert Stiles,
Bert Stiles, and then Allen Iverson came
you
around
could
and
have
said,
a promising
I
news
said,
career.
"Hey, can I change my name to Bert?" And they let me change it. Spelled the same way.
We're talking about Bert.
We're talking about Bert,
not Allen.
We're talking about
not
Bert.
Allen. Bert.
All right, Whitey, I know you saw Frankie Cardicelli's poll yesterday and what he had to say about
couldn't
Malik
believe it.
Monk. What is your percentage at for Malik Monk staying?
I don't know. I go back and forth. Right now, I'm right down the middle.
Oh, come on.
I am, because yesterday, if you'd asked me at this time yesterday, I said, he's not coming back. But then the more I think about it, more, you read into, as we're all going to do, read into every little word, every particular word he says. And, I could go somewhere else and be in a worse situation. I don't know. I think it's 50-50. And let's face it, that's not great for the Kings.
Whitey, what do you think about something we talked quite a bit about, tossing it back and forth, is
which side comes up more often, the heads or tails?
Yes, if you have any insight on that, that would be great.
I think it makes no sense, because
I know for a fact he's
pointed
got
out,
something.
you're not tossing the same coin all the time. So you said,
But
well,
it's always
tails.
a quarter. No, it's always a quarter.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah.
If you're really flipping a coin here, it's a quarter.
My question is, Whitey, do you have any problem with De'Aaron Fox not being overt about Malik needs to come back? We need Malik back. Please, Malik, come back. And instead has, he had the press conference that said, go get your money. That's absolutely what he should do. And also had in a piece that was released on NBC Sports by Tristy Rodriguez, in a conversation with Malik, she writes in there that De'Aaron walked up as they were having the interview and said essentially the same thing. Malik, go get your money. Nah, he's going to go get his money. Don't worry about him coming back. Not necessarily don't worry about him coming back to Sac, but essentially saying he's going to go get his money.
I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
Somebody called us yesterday and they were concerned about that. To me, we know they're really friends. And if you're really a friend, I mean, you don't want to put them in a bad position where publicly, oh, please, 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 if you think they may not come back. I think he's just being a true friend. And I know some people, we like to look at the basketball business as something other than that. Oh, your team and your city. And yeah, that matters. But I don't blame him at all. And I thought it was really interesting when De'Aaron Fox said, it's what Vince Carter told me.
Right.
And to me, if Vince Carter told you something, that is good advice that you should pass on to someone else.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the one thing I just didn't understand is, especially after I think we landed on the post-game press conference, I think was fine. It did feel like maybe that interview that came out on NBC Sports felt like that might have been okay, we get it. Like we get it, De'Aaron. Like he's going to take care of himself. Do you have to continue to publicly say, I don't care, but just give the front of I'm not going to force his hand here. Like you said, and I understand the friendship angle of it. I'm definitely more so on the De'Aaron Fox side of things, but I definitely at the same time understand why fans would look at that and say, Can you just only say come back, please?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Was I the only one that thought there was a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a point to some of the things Harrison Barnes said?
Anything specifically? I listened back to it yesterday.
It's easy to point to the end of the season, but there was a lot of games we lost early, and we didn't come out with the right attitude.
Yeah. No, yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I think we've wondered throughout the season. I mean, if you're going to show up inconsistently every single game and not know which team you're going to get on a given night, I think it points to that. But yeah, to your point, to be able to directly hear it from somebody who's involved and saying, yeah, we really didn't approach every single night the same way. I don't know who that's necessarily pointing the fingers at. Is it a group thing, or is that, players need to make sure it's your job to show up ready on that day?
I think the problem is, and where I'm going to go with this, it's who's saying it, right? So I don't, and Harrison isn't saying he was immune to it. He's part of it. But I mean, Sabonis showed up every single night.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox showed up on most nights. So I don't really know what to do with that, because Harrison Barnes, you weren't there. Is that why you didn't show up? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue.
That's a fair point.
So it's not to say that it's not true. Obviously, he was in the locker room, but when Harrison himself has kind of gone missing at times, I do think it's tough to figure out what I want to take from that.
Are you going big swing offseason trade, or are you kind of stay on the course here? Obviously, you're not going to tear down, right?
Brandon Ingram.
It really depends what's available, I think, as maybe as sitting on the fence as that is. I don't think
you would do that if there's a guy out there that you could get, even because going price for those guys is like multiple first rounders.
It's a lot. It's all in or nothing. But yeah.
We will wait for the prices to drop a little bit. The big short, and then you will get someone in Sacramento to bring it on home. All right, Drive Guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Nate did a great job with all that audio. Thanks to all the calls. Outstanding show with all the fun calls. Keep them coming tomorrow. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the beam.
Our first year is the radio home of the